It's the Bennington Show on a Monday. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
And I am Ron Bennington. Started off with kind of a family anthem for us because you wanted to throw out some big ups.
Yeah, this is big ups to a couple of kooks we know in Yonkers who just became parents. Larry and Lori are now parents. They had their baby a couple days ago.
Did they name their baby Ronnie? Because that's the cutest little name. It's an adorable little name.
I know the name, but I don't know. I haven't seen them tweet it out, so I feel like we're divulging. I don't know.
Smart, because
I have pictures. I feel like I have the inside scoop. I'm going to show you a pic.
Well, here's what you don't want to do is let someone else steal what, like her Twitter name. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? Like, oh, wait.
Exactly.
Let me see pics.
There she is.
Gorgeous.
She's so cute.
I like the Rastafarian hat.
I know. It really, it suits her. And there's Larry.
Look how tired you are when you're a newborn baby. You're just exhausted.
Oh, yeah. It's really sleepy. And then you kind of just go from being really sleepy to really awake for a couple weeks. It's like there's just two modes.
But when you first get here, I mean, it's like total jet lag. It's jet lag from traveling through time and space. And then you're like, oh, God, this gravity is so exhausting.
I just popped into existence, so I'm just so beat.
Well, that's great. Man, I know, like, for them, it might have felt like a long time, but I feel like it was just the other day that they got pregnant.
I know.
Like, when it's not you.
Yeah, that is the convenient thing. Is I just said this to a friend of mine who I've only seen her maybe like 2 or 3 times through her pregnancy. And I'm like, this is going fast.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, it is not. It's going fast because you've only seen me 2 or 3 times in the last 9 months.
That's why when you don't have any little kids around, time travels fast. But when you do, like, it seems like everything's changing on almost a daily basis. And then, like, when you haven't seen, like, a niece or nephew, and then they're like, oh, I can't wait. Little Joey's coming up. And then he's like this, hey, man. Sucks having to come here during the summer. And you're like, oh, what happened to that cool kid that I liked? I don't know. Maybe you ate him. And you're just like, shut up. You're like a jerk kid now. Well, very, very big. Again, you can't even keep up with the news. There would be like 90 Trump stories to go into. The Women's March all over the world. Conservatives crying. They're like, why can't we all work together after fucking, like 8 years of racist jokes. Now they don't understand why the fucking country won't unite. And then Trump bitching about numbers. It's all so weird. And then we had nothing but bad football over the weekend. Yeah. How many playoff games were there altogether? Consider there was one good game.
There have been 10 as of right now.
One good game, which was really one bad half and then another bad half. And you're like, hey, finally at the end of the game. This is close.
Which one was that?
That was Green Bay and Dallas, where Green Bay jumps out to this huge lead. You're like, this is over. And then Dallas comes roaring back, this is over. And then, settled by a fucking 2 field goals, which, I'm not a big field goal guy.
But that's all we had this postseason.
That's it.
And the 2 fucking blowouts yesterday. It's just a shit fest. And now we have Patriots Falcons.
The Steelers were terrible in the playoffs.
Really bad.
Really, really bad.
1 touchdown between 2 playoff games? Or 2 touchdowns maybe? It didn't matter.
Yeah, there was a garbage time, I think.
Yeah.
But the game was well over. So Patriots, Falcons. Patriots are 3-point favorite, which only because of the Patriots. I mean, this is a pick'em game in my opinion. Some people are saying it'd be close. I think it's going to be a blowout one way or the other.
Yeah, either Belichick's going to figure out that offense of the Falcons, and then he'll just shut them down, and then Brady will do what he did yesterday.
I find that hard to believe, though.
I'm leaning towards the Falcons, but I also feel like this could be Trump-Hillary situation where I feel confidently about one thing.
Sure.
And I could be totally wrong.
Well, they do play games. You know what I mean? Like everybody, like over the next 2 weeks, everybody will think they have the whole game already mapped out in their head. Then something else will happen. But I don't think, I mean, I'm hoping for a good Super Bowl, but I'm not getting the thing just because of the playoffs that it's going to be interesting. I found myself so bored in the second game.
Oh, it was a shit show.
And that's the second week in a row. I'm really like, why am I watching football? I can't believe it. I can't believe how much, like, the buzz of football seems to have fallen this year. I don't get it. Maybe it's just a weird thing for 1 year.
It's probably oversaturation leading into just a bad season of games. Overall, just a bad season of football.
Well, maybe this will be the year of the Falcons. I mean, they're getting hot at the right time. But you can see the first quarterback win his fifth ring. It's never happened before. Now, I'm going to ask Vito and Chris Stanley, if he wins this, does it make him the greatest quarterback of all time? Or do those 2 Super Bowl losses leave this weird asterisk like, you weren't perfect like 2 other guys were?
It makes him the greatest quarterback of all time with 5 wins and 7. Just going to 7 Super Bowls, that should be impossible.
Vito?
I think it's not even both of the Super Bowl losses. It's just the one where you lost the game when you had a perfect record all the way through and then you lose the one game that matters. I think that's going to tarnish your legacy.
Does it make him the greatest Super Bowl? Does it make him the greatest quarterback of all time? Yes or no?
No.
Who is that?
I think it still is Montana.
Fucking Brady's brought 7 different teams to the Super Bowl.
Almost twice as many as Joe Montana.
Like, it's nuts. It doesn't make sense. And in the fucking 2000s, with this parody bullshit going on, it should not have happened. Yeah, he lost the perfect season, but he brings him back again to win. It's fucking Brady's the best all time. 5 fucking Super Bowl rings.
Yeah, I mean that's really tough. Though someone writes to me, they are favored because they always finds ways to cheat. Someone will pull a fire alarm or deflate a football. Now, first of all, to blame the Patriots for some kid pulling a fucking fire alarm, some asshole. You know that the Pats weren't behind the pulling of the fire alarm. They also said a lot of the Steelers had the flu the week before.
I guess that was Belichick. He pumped the flu straight into their fucking locker room.
You are you're cheering for Brady and the Pats then?
I called it on our Thanksgiving show at the Hard Rock. Patriots going to Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl.
Who'd you say they were playing against?
I don't believe I said who they were playing against. I think I just said the Patriots are going to win.
I don't know if I could ever believe a thing you said.
I'm going to pull that tape.
It doesn't sound like something he would say.
Something correct, Gail?
Gail, who's the greatest quarterback of all time?
I think that Brady will be remembered as the greatest quarterback until Wentz takes that.
That's not
Wait,
happen.
What?
Wentz wasn't
You got to
even...
keep the faith.
Seriously, Wentz isn't even the last fucking greatest quarterback of the last 2 fucking Eagles seasons. Now, this is just in. Alec Baldwin will host SNL in February for the 17th time. Greatest SNL host of all time? Or is it still Joe Montana?
Look, Baldwin's brought a lot of different casts to that show.
Is that
many times?
Is that like the first week of February? Like the next coming?
I don't know. We didn't say. Wait. Oh, why? Because you're up for it?
I am, yeah.
All right, let me see. You might be saying Christian Stewart. The first week of February.
Yeah, first week of February.
Christian Stewart.
Nice.
That's your aunt's favorite.
Nice. Yes, she does.
She's crazy about her. She's like, "Do you see this Christian Stewart movement?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
Twilight?
No, it's not Twilight. It's some French film she was crazy about. I mean, if you get her out of the Twilight, she is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But no one.
It's hard not to associate her with the Twilight. So
no one can fucking come off good in Twilight. Let's be honest about that. So let's play that real quick. Greatest SNL host of all time, Gail.
I'm going to go with Steve Martin.
Vito.
I'm going to go Alec Baldwin.
John Goodman.
No one's saying Tom Hanks. So I'll say Tom Hanks, and then, of course, the winner is Steve Martin.
Yay!
And I'll tell you why. He did it since the first cast on, and he's crushed on that fucking show. He's crushed on that show. Alec is almost more like a member of the cast more than he is the big host. Steve, bigger than life. Brian, Jersey. What?
Hey, Bennington, what's going on, boss? Hey, Tom Brady, not the greatest quarterback of all time. Not since they've changed the rules where you can't even touch the quarterback. You can't breathe on him without getting flagged. You put him in the 70s, 80s, he wouldn't have won 2 Super Bowls. Not to mention, Vinatieri's had to kick him a few
so who's the greatest?
Goals for the Super Bowls.
Who's the greatest?
It's got to be Montana.
Can I tell you, in the 80s, they sat around and said, with these new quarterback rules, fucking Johnny Unitas would have had 9 of these. They said the same exact thing. They thought Marino had it fucking made back there. Everybody, and it's true of every generation, thinks the generation that follows them is a pussy. And quite frankly, they're right, but there's nothing you can do about it. But yeah, they did, in the 80s, bitch about that. Joey, New Rochelle.
Hey, now, I didn't vote for Trump, as everyone says, but is there something wrong with me? And no offense, Gail, but I'm enjoying the hell out of watching these people suffer and cry, and these celebrities. This is must-watch TV, and I'm actually glad he won.
Now, they, if anything, if you went and watched a women's march, and I watched it all over the world, there was not a lot of suffering and crying.
No.
And not even so much anti-Trump, but you're not taking back some of these Planned Parenthoods and shit. It was really from that point of view. And everyone forgets that the fucking Tea Party marched and everybody thought that that was wonderful. So it's always just about, my side or your side. It was an incredibly large turnout for something that was pretty organic.
Yeah, I mean, the story of how the idea came about and what actually happened and the numbers and the energy. I mean, I was floored by the amount of people there, just the excitement and energy. And yeah, I would say that there was not a lot of crying and whining there.
Well, New York City went fucking sideways fast. And that wasn't even planned. What happened is people were watching TV. And when they saw how many people were blowing up in Washington, they just came out in Chicago, Philly, Boston. LA was even bigger.
Yeah. The image, like the aerial image of Denver, I was like, wow.
So I'm hearing people act like, oh, the election's over. There's still a lot of things involved. And a very, very big one is the fucking Planned Parenthood thing. And most guys don't have to deal with the Planned Parenthood, so they don't get how important it is to women.
And also how little that has to do, or in addition to so many other things, what Planned Parenthood does. Because it just gets associated with abortion. But if you have ever been a woman without health care, without any insurance, it's where you go for breast cancer screenings. That's your gynecologist. They make it affordable. It's women's health care for everyone.
Yeah. Well, I'll also say this. I'm on the side of abortion, and I will be, because I don't want to see little girls running around fucking Clorox bottles. It's stupid. But, to Joey's point where it's just about, our side and your side, that's stupid. It's just fucking stupid. We're off to the races from then. I think it's interesting, and I think the next 4 years are going to be fucking nuts. Because his first couple days into this, whether you're for Trump or against Trump, he was wacky, man. He was fucking wacky over those numbers, sending his press guy out. I mean, it's shit that you don't even need to be fighting about. No one cares who got the biggest numbers.
And his conversation when he was at Langley, standing there, in front of the memorial addressing the CIA was it was weird. I mean, it was just a bizarre occurrence.
Andrea thought the first thing I thought about when Green Bay lost was that Let It Ride guy who lost 20 G's. Well, quite frankly, all he lost was $300 because he never went back in. So he was going to roll that $300, and for everybody who's gone, oh, how stupid. Why didn't he tap out that? Why didn't he tap out at 600 then? Yeah. Don't worry about it. This was his fucking thing.
I love that dude.
Yeah.
He lived and died by it.
Yeah. And he died.
And I agree. I agree with his decision. You gotta let it ride.
Hell yeah.
Just think that was never my money.
Yeah.
That's how you deal with it. It was never my money. It was the idea of money.
Eric, Colorado.
Hey, Bennington.
Turn your radio down, buddy.
My radio is off.
Okay. I was just getting an echo.
All right. Hey, so 2 comments on the march here in Denver. They've been claiming 200,000. The actual numbers based on Denver police counts is actually at around 75 to 80,000. The other thing is I have a friend that works for a tow company that tows cars that are private parkers that parked illegally, and they estimated there were over 200 cars towed in the Denver area downtown on Saturday that were illegally parked. And the meter maids issued a couple of hundred extra tickets on Saturday. The people just parked at the meter, went to the march, and didn't feed the meter. And on Sunday, when people were coming to pick up some of these cars, they were screaming they were being discriminated against because their cars were towed. And it's like, you parked illegally. What the hell's your problem?
Eric, this might be about the dumbest phone call that I've ever gotten in my life. I could really give a shit about who parked where.
There's got to be like a local news source that you could go to.
Yeah, there's got to be somebody. Yeah, I really don't know much about 100 or so cars that are parked illegally. I mean, I'm here in New York, and I've seen entire streets get moved, wiped out. I don't know what happened. They're just all gone off the thing. And they go fast. An entire street will just be gone. Sometimes they just move them to other streets. They don't even take them. Oh, I don't know. Have you guys ever been to that fucking tow place?
In the city, I've never been, no.
Dude, there's a place on the west side. They should shoot a fucking movie in it. I think it's a floating barge. And it's as deep and long as you can imagine. You've got to get on a golf cart to go out to this thing to get your car. I mean, we do nothing but tow car. I've been in bars where you come out and there's 50 people. What the fuck? Where's my fucking car? Yeah, I don't know much about Denver or, the numbers that came up. And again, I don't know what this weird thing is about numbers that started over the weekend.
Yeah.
Trump saying I had the biggest of all time and other people showing those pictures. It doesn't matter, dude. You're the president. I can't even imagine Bush going,
no,
here's where our numbers were, here's where you get fucking crazy after a while.
I wonder if people right now are Trump voters are concerned that he's not going to move into a presidential type role, or are they going, oh my God, yes, this is exactly what we wanted him to continue tweeting. We wanted him to continue talking about ratings.
I don't know. By the way, we never even plugged this. We should have plugged this from Jump Street. You wrote an article for HuffPo that is up about the Gail Meets Girls and how they're all dealing right now.
Yeah, so it's up on Huffington Post.
Go to just our Twitter. You can pick up the link. But the name of it is The Challenge for Women in Comedy, following, oh, jeez. You're driving me nuts over there. Figuring out what's funny and what's not in Trump's America. Really long title. But it's a bunch of great people in it.
Yeah, I got to talk with a bunch of great people. Bonnie McFarlane, Janine Garofalo, Lisa Traeger, Amy Miller, Annie Letterman, Carrie Coddett. Just talking about their experience since Trump was elected, kind of how they're approaching their comedy, what they're staying away from, what they're doing differently.
It's really interesting in the clubs. I'm hanging at the stand, and almost every comedian, when they bring up Trump, the room gets oddly silent. Whether it's people who voted for Trump who don't want to hear about it, or people who are nervous about Trump, but it always has to be worked through. It's not like, Janine kind of brings it up in your article. She's not even in the mood to joke about it.
Yeah. And that's really, I think what was interesting was, it's not across the board all the same approach and the same feeling, but it's something that they're all having to address one way or another.
But I will say this, in terms of bringing up Trump and killing with it, I haven't seen anyone kill with it. You know what I mean? Like, it's still a working process. I saw Christian Finnegan had a amazingly funny thing about the way New Yorkers look at Trump as for years just part of the city, and he made the point where he's kind of like you think he would be having his picture taken next to Naked Cowboy. You know what I mean? He's just like one of those New York City things. So go to our Twitter or the iBang will put up a link too, and that's to this Huffington Post article. And always, you can just go to Huffington Post in the search, put in comedy, and it pops up. I think it's the number 2 thing there. But very, very cool for you. And Johnny Gogo was the guy who hooked that up, right?
Yeah, it was really cool, helping us out with that connection, and it was really phenomenal.
Johnny and a Go-Go, everybody. Johnny Gogo has done so much cool stuff. He helped you get that article. He got Hard Rock Johnny his job, and through Johnny's drinking years, he supported him. Oh. Yeah. When was the guy that I used to call Bad Johnny? I'd go, Bad Johnny is going to get fired for all this drinking at work. And it's hard when you drink a lot and you have a job that has liquor there.
Yeah, because you're going to drink the liquor.
Okay, thank you, Chris. I didn't think the listeners would be able to figure that out on their own, but you got them there.
Thank you.
Oh, look who it is. Bad Johnny. Bad Johnny, what's up, buddy?
First of all, I'm a little upset right now because I was calling to talk about the cars that got towed in Denver. It's crazy. I heard it was like 100 cars or something. It's nuts.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's buzzing about it. Yeah. It's on the front page of USA Today. Cars towed in Denver.
Also, man, that's messed up. You have to feed the meter on Saturdays. I'm like, in the city, isn't Saturdays and Sundays no meter?
Sometimes it's after 7 in some places.
Talk. Second of all, I don't drink, but that's all right.
Yeah, well, not anymore. God bless you for that.
Yeah, thank you. Johnny Gogo helped me with that.
Yeah, well, you know what? Going to a go-go, everybody. What's this? Adam Farrar gets a call from pal Kevin James. What?
That's in Gurney's column this week.
That's weird. But I think it's Sundays. No meter. Just Sundays.
Just Sundays.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the problem came in. Everyone thought it was Sunday because they were excited for the march, and they just didn't pay.
Well, they were thinking, for some reason, I thought that the Broncos were playing. I forgot they didn't make it to the playoffs. They normally do.
Shame.
Better get Picaro for this.
Scams and flams.
Johnny, did you notice how many people didn't come into the city today because of this nor'easter coming our way?
It's a little quiet today.
Very, very quiet. I like my team to get out of here early today, Vito.
Got it. We'll be out of here right away.
I want Jen out immediately because she's got to go back to Jersey.
I got her out of here.
It's going to rain.
No. It's a nor'easter.
It's rainy.
Do you know how many people died in this in Georgia alone? Like 14. Which, by the way, I don't think that, I didn't think you could get tornadoes in the winter. I'm like those people parking in Denver right now.
Yeah, you're so
I don't even know what's going on.
Now, is alternate side of the street parking suspended because of this?
We're going to get back to that guy from Denver and look into it.
Shit. I got to go move my car. I'll be right back.
I mean, I know that like when there's a worldwide event, historic protest, I'm definitely worried about these 150, 200 cars towed. I mean, they just feed the meter, guys.
And then here's the thing. The people who got their car towed were angry. If you can believe that.
They were pissed. The gall.
We're here
Seriously.
to show our spirit, and you towed our cars.
I could park in someone's front yard, and I'd still be pissed if my car got towed. I'd still be fucking furious. I could be the wrongest I've ever been in my life.
Where'd you get off? Take my fucking car.
Well, this is the other thing. When you go down and pick up like your car, you're like, is there anything else that I've done that's going to be tied in with this?
Yeah. What is my name going to be linked to, or is there something in my car?
Well, because like sometimes you can even get pulled over for a cop, and you're like, well, fuck, are my tickets paid up? You know, am I going to end up in the back seat over some dumb thing from 8 years ago?
I ended up fucking doing a night in Brooklyn fucking holding cell because I had a drinking summons from 6 years ago I didn't pay off.
That kind of shit happens all the time. Because they don't go chasing you. No. They just wait until you do something else, and they're like, this is on there. You're like, what?
Bullshit. Everyone else is getting left.
Oh, man, that's the worst. When you see your friends leaving.
I'm like, no! This is the back of a squad car. Fuck.
Ooh, breaking news.
Uh-oh, what is it? Spy report.
Star Wars Episode 8 will be called The Last Jedi.
Oh, Jesus, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Then why is it going to be a ninth one then if it's The Last Jedi?
That's just not about Jedi. That's
so
just like a regular
Jedi
family.
Die?
Hopefully.
The next one's going to be like a family drama.
Well, then it's over then. It signifies it's over. It's the last one.
Then what they're saying is the last white Jedi.
Oh, no.
Because that's what a lot of people are complaining about. There's too many black and brown Jedis.
Yeah, and women.
And women Jedis, yeah. Which, I mean, right from the beginning we had Princess Leia, right?
She was force sensitive, yes.
Wait, force sensitive?
She wasn't a full like Jedi, but she was force sensitive. Like she could do like some
I've never heard that term before.
What?
Force sensitive is like you're not like fucking a Jedi, but you're like aware of the force and can manipulate it somewhat.
She was fucking a Jedi, her own brother.
So confused now.
All right, I just got this report from Denver. They're now arresting people for making a left-hand turn on red. Can't make a left-hand turn on red anymore. I always believe that. Left-hand turn on red through the traffic. Also, one of the bike lanes is closed, and you will get a ticket. Johnny, did you call to talk football?
A little bit, if you would like. It was there's been one good fucking playoff game this season.
One game.
One good game, and it was the best game because the Cowboys lost, but I mean...
Yeah, but
definitely.
They also didn't even lose the way I wanted to see them lose. They lost with hope. Like, we almost came back. Next year's going to be great.
That makes it even better when they don't win next year, though.
Yeah, the thing is, never look forward to next year.
It's all about now.
You're not building anything in this league. Everything changes so much. Look at Carolina. Last year you're like, is this going to be the first of 7 they win?
Yeah.
Seattle a couple of years ago.
That window's fucking closed.
If you have even the slightest chance, you got to get it then. Because you started with a blank slate.
They're not going to keep that O-line together. This fucking O-line that's supposed to be unstoppable. They can't keep all those dudes there.
Unless you're the New England Patriots, then it just continues to be just an amazing team, which just...
but that's different. They're not building on it. He builds a new team every year.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just crazy how great of a coach and an organization they've built around the team. The team is secondary to the organization there.
All right, let's play this game. Greatest coach of all time?
Bill Belichick.
Vito.
Bill Belichick.
Johnny?
Vince Lombardi.
I don't know how you don't pick Lombardi. They fucking name a trophy after him.
Yeah,
there will never be a Belichick trophy. Unless
so boring anyway.
Football. Hey, I don't know. That's Tom's. Tom is the one who deals with the football. I don't.
Look, did Tom go out there and do that press conference in a ridiculous-looking child's hat?
He is the most... I didn't even know who won that game. He's just the most monotone, boring guy ever. I don't get it. I
heard that's his gimmick that he plays.
Yeah, of course it is.
I heard in real life he's a sunshiny, funny guy. I was like, oh, man, I love it. And I hear from Boston Comics, because sometimes he'll go out and hang, and they're like, he is so fucking funny. I'm like, I'm going to call you a liar right now. All right, here's one for everybody. The Nature Boy is in a Twitter feud because the Nature Boy is backing the Falcons this year. Now, we've seen him go with various teams.
Yeah, he bounces around.
And the people of Charlotte are furious with him because he's back in the Falcons. And he acts like he's always been with them. Now, in his defense, the old WCW was based in Atlanta.
It makes sense. It makes sense for him to have some love for the Falcons.
But look how long I've lived in New York. I'm not ever going to root for the fucking Giants. I'm not, I could be happy for my friends that the Giants win. Like, oh, there's going to be a parade for the city. But me, myself, act like we're doing it? No.
Well, last year he went with the 49ers and actually pumped them up before a game against the Carolina Panthers.
Which is hilarious.
He's just the ultimate heel.
That's the thing of you think you control him, but you can't. He's had people spit on him on every fucking city in America.
You can't be stopped.
He's like the biggest heel in Charlotte.
He is. Look at him out and about at the bars.
He's the dirtiest player in the game. But
Rise up.
He can barely pull off his own gimmick anymore because he's getting too old to be doing that rant.
Did you see the video of him last week with his deadlift, his crazy 400-pound deadlift that he did at age 67?
Yeah, he's strong. I'm not going to fucking say that he's not strong.
I don't understand how is he even alive, first of all, nonetheless lifting weights.
No kidding. He goes to show you can party every night of your life. That doesn't mean anything.
And I bet he's never had his car towed anywhere.
Well, you can went back to that.
He could be a jinx. I mean, the 49ers and the fucking Panthers are both falling apart.
So what?
I'm saying that's not looking good for the Falcons.
How could you, of all people, bring up a jinx? You're the jinxiest jinx in Jinxtown.
Hey, I called the Patriots months ago, and they're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they haven't won the Super Bowl. That's when we find out whether you're a jinx or not. By the way, if they lose this, he's 4-3. That's a pretty shitty fucking record.
Losing, that comes off real shitty. 5-2 is a million times better than 4-3.
All right, Johnny. Talk to you later, buddy.
Later, Bennington.
By the way, there is no math to what he said. Coming up at 2:00 today, it's breaking out a special that we did over the weekend. A lot of great comedians that we think are going to be breaking out in 2017.
Mateo Lane, Lisa Traeger. I don't want to give away too many, but it was so much fun.
Well, just give away two: Mateo Lane and Lisa Traeger.
But these bits that they've collected and we get to go over are so crazy funny.
Yeah, this is something that Vito and Jen put together, and most of these bits we heard in real time, and we were laughing like little kids. So that's 2:00 today. And you can go over to the iBang. They've got an accompaniment of an article and everybody's Twitter pages and stuff like that. So it's really, really fun. We're going to hear some funny stand-up at 2:00 today. No extra plugs to that, Chris? That's all the plugs you need?
That's the plug, yeah. That's the plug.
Sweet. Sweet to know that got done perfectly.
Crushed it.
And HuffPo article, Gail Bennington.
Don't forget it.
She's in the
Comedy
Huffington
section.
Post. She's in the Huffington Post. Are their offices nice? Are their offices really?
Oh, yeah.
I heard that.
Wow.
Beautiful.
No, ours are too. I'm not going to lie to you. We've got one of the great waiting rooms of all time. I don't know if that's called a waiting room when you're not in a doctor's office.
Lobby.
Okay, lobby will do it.
Reception area?
But I like just hanging out in there.
Yeah, sometimes we do. Sometimes we just sit in the lobby and watch the stars walk by. Hey, Shia LaBeouf has a live stream. It's right over in Astoria. It's going to go on for 4 years. And maybe Trump Jr. could go over there with your Trump Jr. shirt, your Trump Cock Jr., and do some stuff.
Yeah, I'll definitely go down there. I think it's called We Will Not Be Silenced.
Have you been doing any new Trump Cock tweets?
Yeah, I tweeted out a few times. I found my childhood Trump doll.
Yeah.
And I've been having fun with him. He was watching the Pats game last night because him and Tom Brady are such boys.
He's a Trump Cock from way back. I mean, since childhood.
Oh, yeah, me and Leslie have been watching The Apprentice since season 1, you know?
So it's called He Will Not Divide Us. It's over in Astoria. Already, Will Smith's kid has shown up there.
Jaden?
Yeah, Jaden.
Like 3 hours.
Yeah, 3 hours of chanting, right?
Yeah.
So what is on the live stream? It's just people
whatever people want to do. Whatever they want to do. They just got to not be divided. So we'll send Trump Cuck Jr. over during the show one day, and we'll watch you.
Oh, no.
It's like Big Brother.
Yeah, it is like Big Brother. Look, Eddie Trunk doesn't even wave to us as he walks by. First of all, he'll never come in and do the show. And now he doesn't even give us that old friendly wave.
I don't know what happened.
I know what fucking happened. Rush got into the Hall of Fame, and he doesn't need us anymore. Once Kiss got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he's like, why do I need to bitch to those guys?
My work is done.
Also, apparently, he was more of a Fez buddy than my buddy, I guess. I don't know.
Were they close?
Now I'm taking it that way. Now I'm taking it that they were the closest of all time, so close that he would even put up with me. Last night was the last night of Gil and George, Oh Hello's run.
Their closing show was, and they had a good show for their last one, because every show they have a surprise guest who is the person who gets like too much tuned.
Yeah.
David Letterman.
That's big.
That's huge.
That's a big way to go out. Now, somebody who did not even once get to do Too Much Tuna, the man who invented Too Much Tuna, Jeffrey Gurian, was not invited to do Too Much Tuna.
That's terrible. Do you know how excited I would have been if I was in the audience and Jeffrey Gurian came out?
You know this got personal then. For them not to pick Gurian.
They extended the run, too.
Yeah. That was personal.
Yeah, I mean, Gurian couldn't come on a matinee.
I mean, he is Too Much Tuna.
And apparently, if you go by his column, he wasn't even there for the last show.
Wow.
Looks like this time it's not enough tuna. But Letterman is so crazy with that beard.
He's not letting it go. I thought he would have shaved it by now.
I know.
It's a fucking giant beard. He's maintaining it, too. It's not like a wild beard. It looks like there's some shape to it that he's fucking trimming.
Finally, then. Finally, because it took a long time to get that shit together. So, now that you're no longer Trump Cuck, you've handed it off. Because you said you're too busy in your dating life?
I mean, it's really going fucking, it's full steam ahead, Ron. Friday night, I saw that girl again, from earlier last week.
I don't know who you mean.
Okay, I'll just show you the pictures then.
Or describe.
Why don't you just use a name, a first name?
Just make up a nickname for her. That's what we've got to do. We've got to fucking Sex in the City this shit.
All right, then let's just say L. L would be, this is that girl. So I see that girl again Friday night. And then that goes, she comes over to my place. This is the first time I've had someone come over.
Let me see her, because I don't know what you're talking about.
So this is the one that you've seen multiple times.
Yeah, I've seen her multiple times.
You have sex with her every time?
Not every time.
The one with the gangster boyfriend?
No. She's back with her boyfriend.
Is she? Chris. So this is the number one contender, is what you're saying.
Yeah, this is number one contender.
So can we call her Mr. Big then?
Mr. Big Twat.
No. Oh, here we go. I don't think Mr. Big would be nice.
I don't even remember this one.
I don't remember her at all.
You never once showed us this picture.
Oh, really?
This is not the same.
No.
Oh, I kind of remember that one.
I don't.
But yeah, so I've seen this girl a few times. I brought her to my place. We had a great time.
She's got a picture of herself as Randy Savage.
Yeah, that's what drew me to her.
She dresses up like Randy. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna blow you. So you brought her to your place. Were you embarrassed? Did you clean up first?
Well, see, there's a problem. I don't know why I chose now to do this, because A, I don't have a television. B, the ceiling above my toilet collapsed and fell through. So now there's the fucking debris that I haven't cleaned up yet. That spilled into the fucking living room.
Why don't you? When you bring her in, do you go like this? Welcome to Beirut.
So above the toilet is just a garbage bag duct taped around the giant hole.
That's disgusting.
All right, so you bring her home.
Yeah.
Did she comment on it?
What's that?
Did you warn her, actually?
I was like, look, there's a giant hole in my bathroom, and
luckily she was drunk, right? When you
we
got her
weren't
there?
sober. No, we weren't sober.
All right, so you take her. Now, you and her have had the sex already before?
Yes.
You took her back to Beirut?
Made love, yes.
Mm-hmm. You made sweet, sweet love.
Sweet, sweet love.
And what does this one do again?
She's a waitress.
Okay.
Or sir, whatever, I don't know. Works in the service industry.
Okay. Somewhere that we would know?
Probably, yeah. All right, so we go back to my place, have a wonderful evening.
Yeah.
A wonderful Saturday afternoon. And then,
Saturday afternoon.
Wait, you brought her back to your...
Looking like we're working up an appetite, gonna have a little afternoon delight.
Wait, so this is Saturday afternoon?
this is Friday night and it's Saturday afternoon.
So that means she didn't go to the women's march?
No, she didn't. She had work.
She had to work. She was working on that dick.
She working that shift is when she was working.
Dude, it looks like they're setting up some nice food over at Shade.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Then later that night, I'm fucking swiping.
Oh.
And then like I get a match and I'm like, oh, this chick's pretty hot. And then I read the description and says, just looking to make some friends for us.
Oh. So you were with another couple.
No, not yet. They were on vacation, but then they were like, give us your phone number. Give me your phone number.
Let me see what's going on.
I don't know what the fuck's happening here.
Whoa, that's intense.
So you're going to be with a dude?
Are you going to have
I'm
sex
not
with this guy?
with a dude. I was like, listen, it's no dude play, right? And they're like, no, he's straight, is what they tell me.
So
No,
what,
he's
he
not.
just want to watch?
Yeah, that's what she told me.
That's a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah, it is a
It
lot of
really
pressure.
is. Do you think
You
that...
might have to score some Viagra.
I'm like, I don't want to sound...
Sure.
I don't want to sound rude.
Yeah.
I have the total respect.
Yeah.
But do you think that you could put on a good enough show
I
for
don't know.
someone to watch? Like, how confident are you in, like, your visual
Well,
game?
let me see then.
I don't know. All right, I'm just throwing it out there, Gail.
Here's the thing. They look really normal. Are you sure you're not
I don't
being
think they were normal
catfished?
because they were texting me. They're all fucking gacked up and drunk. It was
Nice.
a fucking shit show. I don't know. This is nothing I've ever really been on my plate before.
This is funny. There's pictures of them at a restaurant with menus.
By the way, this picture was taken by a server.
Yes.
Like, they asked someone at that restaurant to take this picture.
Here we are in front of some candles. So you might go for the whole cuck thing for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And they're also 17 miles away. So they would come into the city.
Yeah.
So you would do stay at a hotel.
No, I bring it back to my apartment with the giant holes.
You know what? Maybe what you should do is do somebody who does home repairs. Somebody come in and do a little spackling.
Are you a contractor? Because that really turns me on.
This is...
But yeah. I mean, because I'm just swiping indiscriminately. I'm not like reading the fucking profile. So when it matched, I read the profile. I was like, oh shit. It was wild, man.
All right, here's the thing. When you're banging his wife and he's watching you, make sure you pull your ass cheeks apart so he can get a good look at that little bunghole of yours.
Is this what you like, buddy?
Like, do you think that you have, the body awareness that you would be... I mean, I feel like he's gonna be yelling no to you. Like, cheat out a little, buddy. Like, can't see anything.
I'm gonna guess most of the time you're gonna put them on top anyway, right?
Look, everything can happen wherever it wants. Everyone's enjoying themselves.
Wow.
So you really are a super dater now.
I guess.
You're about to have a threesome.
All right, how many chicks have you banged so far since you joined Tinder?
4.
And all multiple times, right? Except
for the first art girl.
Who
I liked her
I
too.
liked her so much.
Did you ever try to get back in touch with her?
No.
She never tried to get back in touch with you?
No.
Oh boy.
That's sad.
Well, you know what? That was his first time.
Yeah, that's
I'm
a
sure
burner.
he was a fucking push come.
That's a that's a burner.
Can't remember much. I was pre-tanked.
Jen, I want you to leave early today, honey. I want you to beat the storm.
Jen, you've got to be stronger than the storm.
Yeah, you're Jersey. You guys give in easy to the storm.
Yeah. No, that's gonna suck.
Just get out early. Get out, as they say in the business, ASAP.
Okay.
I think they say that in the business.
They do.
Yeah,
In the
they do.
biz? Oh, yeah. They definitely
Well,
do.
when I'm talking about the business, I am talking about the industry itself. You know, I'm actually referring to the industry, not just the business. Right now, I'm in the business of industry, you know, and right now, I got to tell you, business has been good. You know, we're making America great again.
Has industry been good?
Industry's improving,
Uh-huh.
you know, but it's not where we want to get it.
Sure.
We want the industry to be as strong as the business, you know.
It's good to know.
Right now, we're trying to think inside the box for a while. We've been outside the box so much, we forgot there's a lot of good stuff inside the box.
Oh, yeah. Don't ignore the box.
Yeah.
And Chris, that's good advice for you, too.
Oh, thanks. I'm going to write that down.
By the way, box is plural. When I'm just talking about one, it's Bach. And that's it.
Singular box.
Just one Bach. I don't need box. Just get me a Bach. And I'll be fine with it. What are you drinking over there, Vito?
Seltzer.
Oh, take that can of yours, right? No, this is a can of seltzer. Look how tiny it looks.
It looks so
So
small.
show how you drink it. Show how you do.
Oh
I mean,
my
it just
God.
disappears.
It looks like one of those little tomato cans they give you on an airplane.
He looks like a bear got on an airplane and is drinking a little airplane tomato can. You are so big.
Yeah, I have really big hands, 16 feet.
Now, does this kind of make you feel bad when you say Dater Boy is crushing it and you're not dating anybody?
No, I'm a Trump cuck. I like watching them just do things out there.
So you can come with me when I go see this couple.
That's your part of
Yeah,
the
me and that cuck will
My
just hang
friend
out.
also.
The cuck is cucking another cuck. What the cuck does is while he's watching, he makes the other cuck look the other way. Put his head in the corner. You put your fucking head in the corner while I'm watching.
Like, I'm a cuck, but I'm not that much of a cuck.
Right.
Like, I still like to cuck someone else.
Do you guys mind if I bring my own cuck with me?
Do you think it would be, you know what would be the worst? If you looked over and the cuck was eating a sandwich. And you're just like, you're not even fucking getting into this at all.
It's for you.
That's why you have to BYOC. Bring your own cuck.
How come you guys didn't fight harder for your SNL all-time guy? Why did you just give up to the Steve Martin?
You
Because
just
in the
let
back
me
of
have
your
the
mind you
cuck.
believe Steve deserved it?
I was being contrarian when I said John Goodman.
You were just trying to find another name?
I love
It's
John
never
Goodman.
you never like, oh my God, John Goodman is hosting. You know what I mean? Like there isn't any classic John Goodman shows.
Yeah. I mean, does he have a reoccurring character that he plays every time he's...
Fat Monica Lewinsky in the 90s, that's the last I remember. And he just showed her eating a lot. And I don't understand why that was even something. You know what I mean? Like, why are we attacking her?
I'm not sure.
'Cause she had-
Also, if you look back at it, she was like 90s fat. Like, I don't even think she'd be considered that fat in
No.
today's society.
She was only 90s fat. You're right about that. She'd be considered average today. Yeah, at most she was just a little pudgy.
Yeah, she
you
was
know?
pudgy, but she wasn't like obese.
She was a
just-
roly-poly little bat-faced girl.
Yeah.
You gotta love her.
Today it would just be like some chick.
Yeah, just a regular. You'd swipe on that, right?
Fuck
Chris?
yeah.
All
Why
right.
not?
Good. What if Clinton to be the cock?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, she's a little dowdy there. You gotta admit. I mean,
Yeah, I'm
being
just saying,
20,
like-
she looks fucking 48.
A lot of that is the clothing, though.
So you're going to SNL soon, right?
Yes, I am.
Maybe for the Kristen Stewart night. Or what's her
I
name?
think it's
Kirsten Stewart?
Kristen.
Kristen. I get
You're thinking of Kirsten Dunst.
probably. Well,
She's
what's
a
Wig's
Kristen.
name?
Kristen Wiig.
Okay, so you had to at least think for a second.
Yeah, I did because you were.
Because Kirstens and Kristens, they, I mean, it's just,
It's just a flip of the I and the R.
yeah. So that'll be a good show if that's the one that you go to.
I think so too. I think it will be a good show. Although next week, I believe, is Kristen Wiig. Kristen.
To me, that's a ripoff because, I mean, the year before there would have been somebody with her, and now she's the host. You know what I mean? It's always weird when a past member comes back to host.
Do you think that is better than a sports star, pop star scenario, though?
Well, first of all, sports star to me is always the worst.
Yeah. Because then you're like, okay, how many him in a dress sketches can I see?
7. If it's The Rock, 7.
Did you watch SNL this weekend?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. And I'll just leave it at that. It was good to see Bobby Moynihan being featured again. They've been going a little late on him this year, but what are you going to do? You know what I mean? That's the way that fucking game plays.
There was a sketch that I thought was really, really funny, and that was the one with Aziz, and I'm forgetting her name because she's one of the newer girls, but they're doing a dirty talk bit in
hilarious.
bed, and it was like really Fallout.
But they stole a bit from us. The daddy, where we said on the show before, you know, we were talking on this show, is that you never really call your real dad daddy.
Right.
That's for a lover.
And you should not call daddy dad under any circumstance.
Yeah, you don't want to ever say fuck me dad. That's way creepier than even calling your father daddy.
But I thought the best joke was he's like, you know why you're here after school? And she's like, because I have a learning disability. It's like, come on, that's just sad.
Yeah, that was a funny bit. She was great. We had to figure out her name. We got to figure out her name and dedicate a whole fucking day to her. That's how much we love her now. Look, Vito's off typing away. Good, Vito. I can't hear you type, so I love it. The thing is, you're a slow, big-thumbed fucking typer. Who do you think in SNL, right, like past people, do you think should have had a bigger career, like a movie career or a post-TV career than they did?
Wow. I think that, well, of the current cast, I think Vanessa Bayer should have a bigger career already. You don't think so?
I'm surprised and happy for her how well she's done. I really am.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, she just has the one thing, and she does it, you know, but it's not leading role. You know what I mean? It's not a leading role character that she could play. So, and
I didn't mention Kate McKinnon because I think she's already on that trajectory. Like, I think she's hitting that household name. She's going to have.
What do you think, Chris? Who in the past should have had a bigger career than they did?
I think Brooks Wheelan, should have gotten more stuff.
He wasn't really on the show long enough to get the fucking heat. I agree with you. I dig him. But he only did the 1 year on the show.
Yeah.
And that's very, very tough. All right, why don't we break? Get out of here. Right back, Bennington. Buddies, it's the Bennington Show. Gail's got an article up on HuffPo. You can find the link up on our Twitter. But a lot of our friends are also in this. Some of whom that are quoted in your article will be playing at 2:00 today.
Yes, Lisa Traeger, Amy Miller. Also in the article, Janine Garofalo, Bonnie McFarlane, Carrie Coddett. It was a really fun thing to put together. So it's up on the Huffington Post, and we tweeted out links so you can check it out there.
All right, I think it was Vulture that did an article trying to say to all the 90s kids, the millennials, stop acting like Space Jam was good. It was terrible.
It was not good.
Well, even at the time, it wasn't supposed to be good. It was a shoe commercial aimed at children. People have the tendency to say that it was good because Bill Murray was in it. But he was barely in it.
Yeah, he's in a scene, which I remember being delighted by as a kid. But I also think I might have been just a bit too old at that point. Like, there definitely younger kids were more into it, but I was not like, Space Jam's the best movie of all time.
Well, when it was a cartoon that also had the biggest 90s sports star,
right,
Michael Jordan, in it. But I get that people think things are exciting when they're children, but when you hold on to it when you're adult, that's when you're crazy.
Yeah.
Like if you're an adult, if you're in your 30s and you're still talking about the tooth fairy, you're a fucking moron. You know what I mean? Like, you are nuts.
It was the best of times.
Oh, I'm getting my wisdom tooth out. I can't wait for the tooth fairy. That would be dumb. Chris Stanley, you're perfect age for this. Space Jam. awesome or no?
It is no, because I have friends, all my friends love Space Jam, and I felt like a crazy person saying, this movie isn't good. Why are we watching this?
My guess is because he's a bit younger. Vito is like a huge Space Jam fan.
I got a Bill Murray fucking Toon Squad jersey at home. I love Space Jam.
Toon Squad.
Now, did Space Jam also have jock jams in it, or I'm just making that up in my head?
Here's the thing about it. It wasn't even good sports stuff. You know what I mean? Like, the game itself wasn't good. And two, why weren't they in space if it was Space Jam? It was really Earth Jam where some aliens were there.
Some fucking crash landing aliens.
And most of those things would have been called as fouled anyway, no matter what happened. It's a terrible thing. But this is why when you grow up, you want to mature. You don't want to hold on to all the things of your childhood and fight it. It wouldn't be hard to say, oh, that was great for when I was a kid. But I now realize it was something like all cartoons that are made for kids are bad because they don't have to be good.
Right.
You know, they don't have to be good at all. And they'll tell people, I don't know, put a fairy in it or something. Make the kids happy. You know what I'm saying? Like they know that they don't need to be great. That's why I hate Pixar. They really think that their movies have to be great. They don't. Just make anything.
They're for kids.
Make flashy colors that fart, and the kids will be going crazy.
Color farts?
Does sound pretty good.
You said colored. You fucking racist.
Oh my God, Chris.
Oh my God, this is bad.
One for me was when I was young, I idolized this movie. Thought not just that it was good, but like I thought it was like a great film. And then looking back and listening to the dialogue of The Breakfast Club, it's not even good for a John Hughes movie. It's really corny. And it's like really not what being a teenager is like.
No.
And I remember thinking like that thing that he writes at the end, like a jock, a weirdo, like a freak or whatever. I remember thinking like, that's some heavy shit and some really good writing.
You know what? Let me tell you something. From what I know about that fucking principal, you would have wiped his ass with that. You're not changing his fucking mind. He doesn't care. And why are you calling yourself the Breakfast Club? You're the lunch club. They all had lunch. That's a really good point. That, first of all, I hate how much people still like 80s movies because they sucked when they came out, and we all know it.
Right.
And
now
tomorrow, Vito, by the way, you didn't give us the other announcement we were looking for because you can't fucking type. You went to break looking for something and never gave us the answer. And then I want to find out if when the Oscar nominations come out this week.
Yeah, it is this week.
I think it's
at
tomorrow.
Some point. Yeah.
Tomorrow or Thursday. But that is a great call on Breakfast Club.
Yeah, because like even now you could watch it and maybe like you could just be like, oh, this is mindless. But for some reason I was like, this is so good. Like this is one of the greatest films.
Right. No, I will agree with you. It is a nice mindless thing to sit there and look at. But everything that you say is true. And a friend of ours did a book about John Hughes. And I could talk about John Hughes forever because he did a bunch of things at the same time. But there's a limit to, you know.
Even that gets put above 16 Candles is crazy.
That's insane.
I mean, that's a far better film.
Well, 16 Candles has the racism problems.
Yeah, it did not age well because of the race.
And the sexual assault.
Dong.
The fact that there was a sexual assault that everybody was okay with.
Right.
Including the victim.
That she was just like, was I good? After, was my rape good?
Me, was I good? Nerdy skinny boy. When you raped me, was I really good then?
I'm going to throw another one out there, and this is not film related. When I was a kid, I thought all pizza flavored things were delicious. And now as an adult, the idea of that is so gross to me.
Like a pizza flavored fucking pretzel?
Yes, a pizza Pringle, a pizza combo. Like, cause that was very popular, and I swear it's because of the Ninja Turtles. That everything, like, to be a kid was like, yeah, I wish everything was pizza. Like, I don't know if it had something to do with it.
Wait, Ninja Turtle again.
I wish everything was pizza.
Yeah, you should be doing cartoon voices. No, they had that. But then remember, didn't they go through like a lime thing for a while where everything was lime?
the Ecto Cooler thing was pretty popular, but I don't even know what flavor Ecto Cooler really was. I guess it was kind of citrusy, but it was like green drink,
lemony, I think.
Green drink, and then like pizza flavored whatever, just pizza dust all over it.
Vito, you're not willing to come out of your. By the way, did you find out when the Oscars?
Yeah, Oscar nominations are going to get announced tomorrow morning, and the cast member with disease is Melissa Villasenor.
That's a tough name.
Yeah.
A very tough name.
You pulled it off, though.
No, I mean, for us to become a...
I know.
But, it was tough with Belushi, All right, Vito, something for you. You thought was great in childhood, you no longer do.
Well, when I was a kid, I really loved, like, Hulk Hogan, and I thought he was, like, the end-all, be-all of wrestling. And then when you start really getting into wrestling and reading about everything, you're like, oh, he was a terrible person, and he kind of held a lot of shit back.
And I would agree that, like, when you're little, you're like, the faces are fun. And so you realize, like, no, that's lame.
Yeah.
Like, you get into heels after that.
Yeah, no, after that, nobody wanted to be a face after, like, the 90s when they figured it out.
Right. Or just, like, Bret Hart believing that he was an actual good guy. But kind of weird.
But skill-wise, it seemed like Hulk had less skill than anybody else in the ring, and he got put over every time. And it's like his matches were simply the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, with the Bret Hart, his matches were pretty good, except for when it was time to grab the mic.
That wasn't his strong suit. But yeah, a Hogan match is just like, how many boot to the chest can you see?
He's going to lay down for the whole time, and then he's going to start going like this.
It does work, though.
Which works for little kids because it's predictable. Like, that's what kids love, is like, I know what's going to happen.
That's why it's always great when somebody like somebody who actually fucking when that guy finally loses. That's thrilling.
Right, when the children are
when
crying.
the children are crying. All right, Chris, something that you loved as a child.
All right, there was a film series I loved as a child that I made my father watch over and over and over again that I feel terrible about now, was Police Academy, where I couldn't stop. It was there was like an old independent video store across the street from my house, and every day after school, let's rent the next Police Academy. Gotta watch it again. How many are there? Thank God. I loved Police Academy.
That's kind of cute because it's like you and your dad and then Bill Clinton and Chelsea Clinton. That was their connection.
You know what's really funny about Police Academy is when you get back to realize how much better the first one was. You're like, because that first one's terrible, and it is fucking
I would love
The Godfather compared to the other ones.
They were attempting to make a movie in the first one.
Hey, Larry, Indiana, something you liked as a kid, no longer do.
The Outsiders. I loved that movie when I was a kid. When it came out, me and my buddies would always have rumbles in the neighborhood, and I watched it about 2 or 3 years ago, and it's just the worst acting ever. I mean, that movie's just terrible. You might as well just read the book.
It's a kid's movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's a kid's book. And a kid wrote the book. I mean, she was like 20 or something.
Yeah, she's very young.
When she wrote this book about 15-year-olders. And then it's acted by people all acting for the first time, for people who probably haven't seen a real movie before that. So yes, it all works in that. But it is quite the soap opera when you watch it now.
Yeah, but that's one I don't think I've grown out of it, because if that's on, I'm just as excited as when I was a young person to see it.
But you do get, it's because you're connected to it.
Right. That's my Space Jam.
Yeah, it is your Space Jam.
I'm not ready to say that it's not
Everybody has a Space Jam. But at best, it's a soap opera. You know what I mean? It's a soap opera of acting. It doesn't mean that can't be good or bring you in, just like pizza-flavored snacks will, you smoke a joint, you're going to have some pizza-flavored snacks, you're going to enjoy it.
Hey, dudes, it's pizza time.
Sean, what's up?
Hey, Ronnie B. The Rambo movies. Here's a Vietnam vet with PTSD. So by all means, let's reintroduce him into a war zone.
It is it's a weird thing, and him like, can we win this time? Not like you hold me back. So it's this rewriting Vietnam's history for knuckle draggers. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
for the dumbest of the dumb. You kept us from winning. Like, what are you talking about? What? You're insane, Sly. I mean, the amount of bad stuff that Sly has done in his life. And then they even give him credit for this last shitty movie. We live in a fucking world of craziness. And that's why Oscar night, when he didn't win, it was like, you fucking dope. I mean, this is the exact thing of punked. Dave in Houston. Dave, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, guys? When I was a kid, my brother and I absolutely loved the TV show Good Times.
That's a hilarious one.
I watch it now, and it's awful.
I remember that any of those things, Welcome Back Kotter, I was like, it's Welcome Back Kotter time. I got to watch Welcome Back Kotter. I mean, you talk about doing the same thing. All those kids had a catchphrase that they used once or sometimes even twice in a show. The number of catchphrases that was just done over and over and over.
Predictability.
I'll give you another one. The Fonz and Happy Days. It's unwatchable.
Oh, no. Watching reruns of it now, like if you catch it now, it's cringy. Like there's a lot of really cringy stuff.
And he's also way too old to be hanging out with the people he was. Like the Fonz was 27 when that show started. And it ran for 8-9 years. So he was well into his 30s at the hop. You know what I mean? I mean, it was fucking weird.
Screaming Goat tweeted to us, my movie is Hocus Pocus, and that hurts my little kid heart to say it. That's one that just recently I was explaining to my boyfriend, and I was like, it's a really good film that I loved. And then I had to be like, well, actually, I have not seen it since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm like, Bette Midler at her finest.
Yeah.
Like, I was really serious about it. And this came up because I recognized in the most recent, the new episode of Baskets, I recognized a guy and I was like, this is driving me nuts. Who is this guy? Like, I just knew his face, and he was like a kid in Hocus Pocus that I have not seen in between that time.
He was part of the Carney crew that was running around?
He was the head Carney.
That guy is good, though.
He's really good. And he was great in Hocus Pocus as Jay.
Aaron in Boston. We're talking about things that you loved as a kid. Now seem pretty lame.
How you doing, guys? I was going to say Wayne's World. I watched that recently. It doesn't hold up. It's not funny. I can't stand Mike Myers anymore. Sorry, Canada.
It's very funny that you say this. 25 years now since Wayne's World, and it's being re-released to theaters. They're going to put it in theaters. Yeah, I just saw this article yesterday, and maybe we should all go and see how it goes.
I am willing
I'll go see Wayne's World with you.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go.
I'm willing to guess that is going to be in Space Jam category. Where, like, no matter how many times I see it, I don't think I'll go, hey, that wasn't as good as I thought it was as a kid.
Do you feel the same way about Wayne's World 2?
I probably don't.
That one got a little that one lost everybody. For me, Wayne's World kind of got weird when I found out the two of them didn't like each other. And he didn't even want Garth to come back in the second one. He was like, let's do the second one without Garth.
It's Wayne's World, right?
Yeah. They're not buddies.
Yeah, that's upsetting. I want them to be best friends.
Yeah, they don't, not only are they not best friends, there's not even a lot of like for each other there. Chris in Philadelphia.
Hey guys, I was 8 when Return of the Jedi came out and was my favorite movie ever, and as I watch it now, I realize just how bad it was, and one of the things that strikes me is that Harrison Ford, the entire film, every line he says is some sort of attempt at like a wise-ass, funny line, and you could just tell how much he did not want to be in that film, the entire production.
Which is weird because that's the thing that made him, and he's always been really pissy about it. You know what I mean? Like, he's always, from the first movie, acted like Star Wars sucks. Alec Guinness was the same way. He hated Star Wars. He did not want to talk about it. Thought it fucking blew. Thought the children that liked it were fucking special needs. And that's always kills me. So I brought this up before. I took Davy Mack to a theater at night as a surprise that was playing Indiana Jones, and because Karen Allen was going to come out and talk, and that was my big surprise for Dave. We're sitting there, and Indiana Jones on the big screen is fucking painful. It is just one slow, long fight scene that gets into another slow, long fight. Like he's fighting these guys, and then he's in a truck race where he's fighting people, and he gets out of that, runs into another dude that he starts fighting, and you're like, how long? And these are like 16-minute fucking fight scenes.
My favorite Indiana Jones is the one that everyone says is the worst one. I like Temple of Doom. I hear a lot of people talk shit on Temple of Doom. Again, Asian racism. This is a theme I'm realizing in my childhood.
Hey, Michael, in Colorado.
Hey, guys, how you doing today?
Yeah.
There were two shows when I was a kid that I watched and didn't realize that they were causing me anxiety, but that's all they did. It was I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched. Somebody was always about to get caught. I was sitting there sweating as a kid, thinking, why do I feel like this? And that's all it was. It was just provoking anxiety.
There was, but both those things too, are funny because it's women as slaves in both cases. You know what I mean? I am going to keep you in a bottle.
Right.
Because you're a bad girl.
Yeah, and also Bewitched, the same thing. It's the exact same premise, but it's like, what makes her great? He's trying to stifle and hold her down. She's got magic powers. He's like, don't be showing the neighbors your powers, all right?
It's like, imagine in the case of Bewitched, if she was a great singer, and he said, I don't want you to sing, I want you to make dinner. You know how abusive that would be?
But I have the talent.
Yeah, but I am working at an ad agency. Okay, my work, which has zero importance. Eric, no joke in Hoboken.
Hi, what's up, Bennington, Bobby?
Hi, Bobby, what's up?
It's great to hear your voices, as always.
What's you got for me, buddy?
Saved by the Bell. When I was a preteen, middle school, I loved it. Couldn't get enough of it. And my father was like, what are you doing watching this shit? And I watched an episode like a month or two ago.
Yeah.
It's garbage. It's really horrible.
There is a thrilling thing when you're 12 to see what life is going to be like when you're 15 or 16.
Yeah.
And that is why they are never watched by people their own age. These kind of shows are watched by younger children dreaming of their exciting teen future and older perverts. That's who watches Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell was one of those shows, like, I was aware that it wasn't good or that it was lowbrow, but I still wanted to watch it. And it was one thing, like, I never wanted to be caught watching it by my parents because I was just like, I knew that my taste level was off.
Yeah.
And I was just like, cause nothing would have stopped you from walking and be like, why are you watching this shit?
Here's the thing. Why did anyone find Screech to be amusing? Or everyone's put downs of Screech to be amusing? Chuck, Boston. Chuck.
Well, even as a kid, a 6-year-old kid knows Gilligan's fucking everything up again anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Gilligan's Island.
Gilligan's Island is, and most people don't realize this, Gilligan's Island was on the air for like 2 years.
That's it?
Yeah, something really short like that, and then ran on reruns forever. But at the time it came out, people were like, this blows. You know, this just sucks. But for some reason, in reruns, it could be watched over and over and over again.
Yeah, that was one of those shows where it was confusing to me that it was not a current show because it was on reruns.
Yeah.
Like, there was a couple shows like that. Like, Bewitched was one of them that I was like, okay, this is a different time right now. It's just like, there was so many new it felt to me like I was getting new episodes every time I watched.
Now, no one ever brings this up, but wouldn't you say that the people in Gilligan's Island were homeless?
They were without home, but would you call them just like stranded? Like,
Yes.
if you're stranded, are you homeless?
Yes, I believe that you are.
Even if you have a home somewhere.
No, and let's suppose this. If I'm in Calcutta and I can't get back to the States and I'm living on the streets for 2 years, I'm fucking homeless.
You were homeless for 2 years.
Yeah.
Right. Fucking Calcutta.
Yeah. So I would call it homeless island. Mike in Columbus.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey.
Hey, for me, it's HR Puffin stuff.
You can't do a little because you can't do enough. A children's show written by acid heads. There's no doubt about it. Not even the slightest doubt.
HR Puffin
so
stuff is
creepy.
It's like one of those things I'm culturally aware of, but I don't think I've really ever seen an episode. I don't think I'm really aware of what goes on. Like, I know what HR Puffin stuff looks like.
You
I
could
know the
watch.
song.
You could watch every episode, and you wouldn't know what was going on because they didn't. They had all the fucking thought into that as they do a Fruit Loops commercial. Charlie, PA.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, to this day, I can't watch Three's Company. Every single episode is based on a misunderstanding of some sort that is so easily solved by just having two characters confront each other.
They don't, though. They're always thinking,
No.
someone really would, I mean, their stuff is as bad as, oh, look at your big cantaloupes. And the guy's in the other room, you
And
can't
it's
believe.
like, oh my God.
Go ahead and touch them. Aren't they juicy? Aren't they big and ripe cantaloupes? And then the joke would be, those were actual cantaloupes.
Sure.
Not her tits that for no apparent reason, she started to refer to as cantaloupes.
That's the basis of most sitcoms, is the comedy of errors. Like, oh, if I had just told you the thing instead of hiding it, everything would have been fine.
I remember a show called Rockford Files, which I remember at the time thinking, finally, television has gotten sophisticated. We have plot, we have character. This is a flawed gentleman. He's not, flawed. He's kind of a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's lazy. This is a funny show. Esquire TV, the short-lived Esquire TV, was running Rockford Files. I was thrilled. And I started to tape them and watch them after the show. So the first time I'm like, man, this is weird. I got a bad Rockford File. Didn't expect that, but you know what? That happens. This show was so bad that I was now forced to watch every episode I could. So, and most of these episodes were written by the guy who did The Sopranos, right? He was almost like a one-man wrecking crew on it. And I'm like, one day I'm going to look back at The Sopranos and go, oh my God, this was shit. Why did we think it was so good? I am telling you that nothing in this conversation blew me away as much as The Rockford Files is not a great show.
And then you got into just watching it just because it was bad.
Couldn't stop myself.
Yeah.
Couldn't stop myself. Well, there's two things. It's bad, but also just how almost like a backwaters town that fucking LA looked like. You know what I mean? Just big cars and no one going anywhere. Like at the time, LA, it was a sophisticated town. And now you're like, where the fuck were they? Bug tussle? Here is David. David, what's up?
Hey, Ronnie. About the time you liked Rockford Files, I wanted to be Emergency. I wanted to be Squad 51 so badly when I was 10 years old. I watched it the other day, and it's unwatchable. It's terrible.
No, it looks like a lot of these shows were written with a guy just typing with his elbows. Ray in Georgia. Ray. Once, twice, you're out, buddy. Let me go to Tom in Philly.
Fraggle Rock. Super creepy now when you look back.
And I don't think Fraggle Rock was on too long either, right? Like a year or two?
I was a big fan of the Fraggle Rock, but I have not revisited it as an adult. But I guess it is kind of like a weird, surreal premise.
Anything with those Muppets is fucking weird, and it's for weirdos. It's insane.
The song was good. Down a Fraggle Rock.
Yeah, look, don't get me wrong. The song's fucking perfect. Let's go to our buddy Chuck. Chuck in North Carolina.
Hey, Ronnie, when I was a kid, if you gave me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a glass of milk and the damn Three Stooges was on, I was in heaven. But goddamn, it's the silliest shit I ever tried to watch. Yeah, and everybody loved it when they were a kid. But goddamn, I can't hardly watch it.
There is something about adults hitting each other that is funny to a child. But when you get older, you want Mo to get his due. You know what I mean? You want those other two to beat the fuck out of Mo. And at the time, I'm like, Mo's the cool one. He's running things.
He's on top of it.
Like, there is always a thing with kids. You're either a Mo fan or a Curly fan, right? No one is a fucking Larry fan. You know, maybe when you get older, you're like, oh, Larry's kind of weird, esoteric. He's out on his own, you know? But when you're a kid, you just don't pick him. And then you're always disappointed if it's somebody other than Curly in there.
Oh, yeah.
No. And when you get to Curly Joe, the fucking gay guy, that's just straight painful. Ryan in Portland.
Yeah, so I got a Rockford Files kind of moment.
Okay.
I started recording Murder, She Wrote, thinking, hey, I'm going to get little mini Agatha Christie moments. And it's like the cheesiest, most painful everything that you can imagine.
Well,
so,
these swerves that they did in those days, either A, it was the most obvious thing in the world, or B, someone did it for no fucking apparent reason.
And I never know what's worse in those kind of shows.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, is it worse that you sit through it and go, this is who it is? Or you're like, who the fuck is that guy and why do I care?
I get pissed at no motive. But there's just none whatsoever. Like, come on! Why even write anything else in the episode?
And that woman needed to be arrested. I mean, you're not around that many murders.
The thing that I most remember about Murder, She Wrote was just soft lens. Just like a nice soft lens.
Yes,
that rounded soft light.
Phil, in North Carolina.
Yeah, if you guys remember a movie called Time Bandits, where the midgets went through time and basically wreaked havoc, and they had to solve some problem, I can't recall, but I loved it as a kid, and I watched it a few years ago. Terrible movie.
Here's James in Oregon. James.
Hey, Ronnie, how's it going, buddy?
Good.
Hey, listen, Chips is the only reason why I watch that show now is for pretty Bruce Jenner, right? I mean, he's on the show. He makes a pretty cop, and they actually are rehashing the show. They're bringing it back.
Yeah, I saw the trailer, and it didn't even slightly remind me of Chips.
No. Dax is a chip, right? Dax.
Yeah, and I guess it's supposed to be a parody of Chips.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm not picking up on it. But Chips was funny because there were these motorcycle cops, right? But you couldn't really let these guys drive around on motorcycles because the insurance would be insane. You couldn't shoot a show with them riding around on motorcycles. So they put them on these kind of flatbed fucking things. So you just see these guys and they're having like conversations as they're going down the fucking highway at 75.
Dude,
and they're just talking back and forth. Nothing is moving on the bike.
Oh my God, now I want to watch Chips. I've never seen an episode of Chips.
You gotta watch it for nothing else but the man wearing these really tailored, tight, tan fucking pants. It's so odd looking. Like, there's an emphasis on thighs.
Oh, yeah.
That you would never see on another fucking TV show. Like, I don't know how they breathe with the thigh being that tight. Dave in Columbus.
Hey, Ronnie.
Yeah, buddy.
On Saturday mornings, there used to be a show called The Banana Splits.
Well, not only the Banana Splits had a show, but it was basically them hosting a show. And they hosted 4 or 5 terrible shows in the middle of this. We're a rock band for no apparent reason. But you had Danger Island, and you had this other cartoon that would be like a guy could turn into fucking. Oh, it was like Arabian Nights, and he was like, size of a llama. And he would turn into a llama. Yeah. Whoever he needed to fight, there would be a reason for him the size of an elephant. And it was fucking ridiculous. And I would stand in front of that thing watching it. Like a moron. Remember when you were a little kid?
You rock
watch
back
the
and
TV
forth.
and you're just rocking from the left to the right?
Also, what's the thing with being so close? Like, it's a cliche, like, get away from the TV, but I do remember watching TV. Because I guess it's just the pure excitement. Like, adults watch it for relaxation, but you're watching TV to get, like, pumped up.
Yeah.
Like, this is great.
And there's nothing better, like, if you see a little kid watching TV and they're jumping up and down, like, this is fucking amazing. And you're like, dude, it's just fucking TV, man. Chill out with it.
But I will say, like Fraggle Rock, the song stands up.
Yeah.
That stands the test of time.
Oh, the Banana Split song?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, good songs are good songs. I mean, nothing you're going to do about it. Here's Steve. Steve in New Hampshire. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Hey, I saw this movie when I was about 15 called Saul Good. And I was, belly laughing when I saw this thing. I bought it on Amazon last year. Oh, my God. It is, I don't know how, it ruins everything I think is funny.
Now I want to watch it. Who's the star of this movie?
I said there's Jamie Kennedy and Jason Bateman, Tori Spelling. It's no, there's no joke that is funny. It is so bad.
So good. That's the fucking funniest title I've ever heard in my life. Here is Mickey. Mickey Mouse. What's up?
Yeah, I love this original series, The Wild Wild West, with Robert Conrad as James West and Artemis Gordon. That was a great show.
They tried to make the movie, and it's from a steampunk version of that. It's great. They worked so hard on it, but you can't have a sci-fi western. It just
can't work.
Doesn't work that there's these...
Some genres are not meant to be spliced.
Well, there's no way that these people who can't come up with a flushable toilet were going to come up with these other machines.
Giant fucking arachnid.
Craig, what's up?
Craig.
Hello, Bennington.
Hey, buddy.
Listen, the old George Reeves Superman had like a few flaws. First of all, he would always go to that same storage room
to
take off, right? The same window. So somebody would have spotted him.
Nobody.
But now here's the kicker. They used to have the phone booth to say that he hid his stuff. Where did he hide his stupid fedora hat and his glasses and his Clark Kent clothes when he flew to some island?
Another show that wasn't on regular TV that long and may have been the last black and white show that they kept showing. It probably showed on TV up until the 80s, probably. And there was nothing there. There was no attempts. Nor did they even make a sexy Lois Lane. She was quite the plain Jane. Beverly Hillbillies is a ridiculous show that didn't deserve the love. I don't think a lot got put into Brady Bunch. You know what I mean? And in terms of writing and acting.
Like, the premise of Brady Bunch has always bothered me because, so once the initial thing, it was like the yours, mine, and ours idea,
right,
where it's like their two families come together as one. But then you watch the Brady Bunch, and it's just a family show. Like, there's very little to do with the fact that they're two groups of kids grown up differently.
Right.
Like, I guess that wasn't sustainable. I don't know if they did that in season 1, but I've never seen an episode.
No, they never had a problem of, honey, you're treating your kids better than you're treating my kids.
Right.
Which is a natural thing to be discussed if you're melding two families together. Hey, Gail's got an article off on Huffington Post. Congratulations,
hey, thanks, guys.
Gail. Congratulations.
Thanks.
It's about Gail Meets Girls, and you can go. We've tweeted out and all that, Facebooked or whatever. I think we're Snapchatting it.
Yeah, you can check it out on Twitter.
Instagram.
The links. Yeah, well, every social media platform.
What's your Instagram?
I have my Instagram as private. It's my last personal life.
Do we have a Bennington Instagram then?
We do.
Yes,
Let's jump into the Instagram business.
I'm all about IG.
All right, you know what, dude? That's going to be you too.
You're taking over social media.
Trump Cuck Jr. Chris is dating so much now that he doesn't have a lot of time to do the other stuff.
I got to see him.
I need you. All right?
Me and Jen are going to take social media to the next level.
All right. I like the way you partner up with Jen, too.
Yeah, they make a good team.
Got to build a strong alliance to get ahead.
Smart.
I used to be in your alliance.
Yeah, you used to be all about Gail.
I know.
No more, you're all about Jen.
But you know what? It's like...
I play both sides of the house.
He
That's
does.
disgusting.
He does.
That's disgusting what you just described. Man, I'm loving this stuff, the shit that you loved as a kid, and now you find to be ridiculous. One of mine is America. I remember when I was a little kid, I thought it was awesome. I mean, they taught us that in school.
They tell you so many good things about it. They talk a lot about the great accomplishments.
I was very proud when I was like in first and second grade. I was proud of America. But now the guy from a weird TV show is running it, and it's just hard to believe. Terry, what's up?
Hey, it's Harry from Mass.
Hey, what's up?
So when I was a kid, my brother and I used to watch this old VHS 1966 Batman movie, and I watched it last night with my fiance for the first time in 20 years, and the acting is so bad, it is comical. I could not stop laughing.
Well,
this is a movie I thought was great.
You know, at the time, again, Batman was another show, ran a couple of years, ran forever in reruns, but it was not made for everybody. It was aimed at children. So they did not want to have anything too complex to confuse a child. But as the years went by, people were still watching it when they were in their teens and then their 20s. And in '89, there were people saying, why would you, if you're going to do a new thing, why wouldn't you give it to Adam West?
Wow.
And Adam West was like, yes, I am Batman. I'm ready to do this fucking role. And people were pissed at Tim Burton.
Something that was, for me watching that show as a kid, I wasn't aware that they were aware it was a weird show.
Right.
So I just thought, look at this weird old show. Look at how weird people were then. Instead of realizing, like, that's the feel, the texture they were going for.
There was a real strange thing that Adam West had that, you know what I mean, of parody before anyone did that kind of parody.
Yeah.
He was on his own with that because it hurt his career. Like, he couldn't go back to making movies or anything after that.
Right, because they just thought he's a weird actor.
Yeah, he's a strange dude. We don't really, trust him. Here is Ray in Jersey.
Yo, what's going on, guys?
Hey.
First of all, congratulations, Gail, on your article.
Hey, thanks so much. I
really,
appreciate
really
it.
cool.
Yeah. Speed Racer was the show that I absolutely couldn't miss. I would lose my mind if I did, even if it was like a first minute,
It's easy now to look back at it and go, oh, early anime. You know what I mean? Because anime has stayed weird since then. And it was when I was a kid that we're like, wow, these cartoons from Japan are fucking whack. And we were digging. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Like, they are breaking the fucking rules. They're a little more violent. They're a little more sexy. I remember there was, and it was in black and white, and it was called Tobar the Eighth Man. And it was fucking bananas. Right? And Tobar, nobody realized, but was robot spelled backwards.
Oh, shit.
He's Tobar the Eighth Man. And his energy would get down, and he would smoke a cigarette and fucking get to be badass.
This was the fucking cartoon? That sounds awesome.
That's his spinach that powers him up.
And we would be
Nice
watching
cigarette.
on TV going, I gotta get a cigarette. And then we did. We'd be like this. It's over the 8th man. I remember being so little, and me and my friends were going to pass the cigarette around like a joint, and everybody was afraid to hit the matches. None of us had ever lit a match before.
Oh, wow.
So what we did, we kept going like this. We were scared, and the match went down into the grass and lit a fire. We're like, oh, okay. And then we lit the fire. Lit the cigarette off the fucking burning weeds and then stamped out the weeds. And we passed that cigarette around swearing that we liked it, but it felt like your lungs were burning.
Oh, yeah.
It was terrible.
The first
feeling.
time you smoke, it's awful.
Yeah.
And I completely forgot that thing of when you're young, you pass a cigarette around like a joint because you don't have many of them. Or
Somebody
maybe
had
you
to steal one from their mom.
Exactly.
But we were so little. Like, can you imagine now if you looked around and saw a fucking first grader puffing on a cigarette?
Lighting off a
I
fire.
mean, like, you couldn't imagine that.
You freaking nuts.
We're about to jump into, and thanks for everybody for calling. This bit was a lot of fun today, too. But we are about to jump into Breaking Out. And this is a bunch of young comedians that we dig. And we're going to play a bunch of clips for you. We think we're going to like it. It ran as a special over the weekend here at Sirius XM.
I can tell you we enjoyed it like crazy. We were laughing through the whole thing. These comedians are hilarious.
So stay tuned. We'll be right back. And first, go check out Gail's article on HuffPo. There's links all over at the iBang and up on the Bennington Twitter. But we will be back with Breaking Out. Jen and Vito produced this. Great job, kids. Breaking Out coming up next. Bennington.
Bennington presents Breaking Out. In the next hour, the Bennington Show will be playing the funniest stand-up from the funniest comedians breaking out in 2017. Here are your hosts, Ron and Gail Bennington.
Welcome to Breaking Out. We are the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
And I am Ron Bennington. And when we're talking about breaking out with comedians, it can happen at all different levels, Gail.
Yeah, these are the people that we have met through the show. They're out there working in the clubs, and they are right on the edge. They are just at that breaking point where they're going to be big stars.
But, you know, there's breaking out, and then you get to one level, and you might stay at that level, and then there's breaking out again. Like, you could make the case that Bill Burr broke out again a couple years ago, and Louis C.K. a couple years before that. But there's also that big breaking out moment where you go from kind of doing club shows into theater shows. And
Right. And also, it's got this thing where, you know, you break out among the people who are fans of comedy. So there's people out there who are just interested in comedy, but then there's breaking out where you're like, how does my grandmother know this comic's name?
Right.
It's strange.
So what we're saying is there's about 50 different ways to break out. And so that means, because I hope that this isn't the only special that we do in this, because I love presenting new comedy to people who haven't heard that comedy. Not necessarily as some of these folks have been at it for 10 years or more.
Yeah, and we have compiled some of the best bits from these incredibly funny comics.
Well, the first guy that we're starting this off with is a friend and also someone that we're absolutely a fan of, Mateo Lane. You've seen him on Girl Code, Guy Code, Nightly Show with Larry Wilmore, Late Night with Seth Meyers. He's one of the funniest people working today. Also a phenomenal singer. This is Mateo Lane.
Oh mio bambino caro, mi piace
Thank you, guys. That is a true story of how I came out to my dad. So, short conversation. I definitely have gay voice, so I'm sure you can clap if you can hear my gay voice. Right? Thank you. Thank you. Yes. No. Definitely gay voice. Now, here's the thing. So, I'm running into issues with it because when you become a comedian, everybody around you, your manager, your agent, they all convince you that now you have to become an actor. They're like, well, don't you want to be an actor? Start auditioning. Get in there. You're like Seinfeld. And it's like, I don't know if I want to be an actor. And I also hate actors because everyone in New York is like, I'm an actor. And you're like, more fries, please. But, thanks. So, I'm just constantly going out in auditions and bombing them because of the sound of my voice. I went over this one audition, and the character description was literally, Zach, 19, football player. Well, Zach's gonna have a secret to share with everyone. So, yeah. Hey guys, I'm here for the team. Hey Zach. But I have discovered that with acting, most times they don't care if you memorize your lines or if you went to Yale or this is Yale. All they care about are looks, and I know what I look like. I'm Italian and I'm also Mexican, so from here up I just look like a deli worker. Yeah, I have what I call deli face. So without gay voice, I'd probably sound like my friend or whatever, but
the wonderful Mateo Lane. We just love him.
You can follow Mateo on Twitter at Mateo Lane. He's incredibly funny. If you get the chance to see him, he's out there killing it. He's an incredibly hard worker, and he's got so many exciting things happening for him right now.
Our next comedian is also one of the people that we're just crazy about.
Yeah, we absolutely love her. She's been a guest on Bennington and Gail Meets Girls. She is incredibly funny, and this is great because the two of them are friends. Her and Mateo are good buddies. You've seen her also on Horace and Pete, where
she was amazing on that.
Killed it. She absolutely killed it and was so perfectly cast. This is Lisa Traeger.
Yeah, one of my favorite party moments of my whole life happened last year, March 2014. Me and 13 of my friends, we took a Stretch Navigator limo to a Miley Cyrus concert. And what a girl. And it was so cool, but then I don't know if you've ever disappointed hundreds of teen girls before, but getting out of a limo at a Miley concert, is definitely the way to disappoint them. Just as we were getting out, just a sea of sad crop tops, and all I felt from them was just ugh, who are those old women? And I had to be like, your future! This is it, party gals. You guys are so fun for clapping so much. Did my parents pay you? So fun. But then it was a few of us, and we went to inside the venue, and then we were buying water bottles, and as we're walking away, I hear these teens behind us be like, who spends $5 on a water bottle? That's so lame. Who would spend that much on water when you could buy booze? That's so gross. And I had to turn around and be like, oh, baby girl, old women on Molly. That's who. We're so thirsty. And you're very pretty. Just so pretty. High school bodies. They look so good. But anyways, yeah. And then I was feeling confident because obviously the drugs, but also I had this Betsy Johnson dress from TJ Maxx with a zipper down the middle. So I was just feeling pretty good about myself. And I walked out of the bathroom, and this guy came up to me, and what I heard was, you look really hot. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. Do you like my dress? And then he went, your dress is fine, and I don't know what you think you heard, but I said you look very high. And I was like, oh, cool. Cool. Good eye. What are you, an umpire? Get the fuck out of here.
Lisa Traeger, incredibly funny.
She's so funny. Follow her on Twitter at Glitter Cheese, which is also the name of her album.
She's also one of those funny people who are just like born funny. That's the way I see her. I was watching Annie Letterman's Snapchat, and she turns around and goes, look, Lisa's fighting with her dad in Russian. And Lisa was on another phone and just having an argument with her dad in Russian. I understand nothing, and I'm laughing like a little child. Like a schoolgirl, I'm laughing.
She is so incredibly funny, and I think that she is absolutely going to be a big star.
Everybody is talking about this next comedian, Mr. Tim Dillon. He's the guy, he blew it up at the New Faces show in Montreal. Also won New York's Funniest at the New York Comedy Festival. And over on the Interrobang, he was the most brought up person who was going to be the next big thing.
I think
by other comedians.
That's always great when you have other comics in your corner, and over comics bring up his name as the next wave.
Everybody believes in Tim Dillon, but Tim Dillon.
I'm a big fan of reality TV. You guys watch reality television? That's good. Good. Okay. Relax. It's killing us. Relax. Relax, please. Best shows are the ones that are clearly fake. The fakest show on TV right now is a show called Undercover Boss. That is the fakest show. If you haven't seen it, it's where the CEOs of companies, these like rich cocksucker CEOs, go and dress up as the employees of the companies that they own to like fuck with them. That's what they do. And the last episode I watched was at Popeyes, which is a chicken restaurant. Do you guys like Popeyes? All right. I believe some of you. I didn't even know Popeyes had a CEO. I thought it was just fried chicken and yelling. I had no idea there was a paramilitary structure behind Popeyes. That's amazing. But here's what the CEO of Popeyes goes undercover. Popeyes Saturday night. He goes undercover, so he does what he needs to do to look like a Popeyes employee. He puts a cigarette out in his eye, gets an acid burn on his face. Just covers himself in blood. And so he goes to Popeyes on a Saturday night, and this is how you know the show's completely fake. Saturday night at Popeyes, and I've been many a Saturday night at Popeyes preparing for this joke. And this is what the CEO, who's dressed like a Popeyes employee, he goes up to the guy who's working the cash register, and he goes, "Hey man, what's your biggest problem?" And the man who's working the cash register, the cashier, without missing a beat goes, "Well, sometimes we run out of apple pies." That's your biggest problem Saturday night at you know how many takes did they have to use to get that answer? You know the first answer was like, "Yeah, we got problems. People keep giving birth in the bathroom. There's placenta on the floor. Now it's on my hands and the biscuits are soggy. Nobody wants placenta biscuits. Can you get AIDS from placenta? I just came to work. Now I'm a godfather. This is ridiculous." You also know it's fake because they never talk about the Illuminati. And I've worked low-wage jobs. We talk about the Illuminati all the time. That's literally all we do.
Tim Dillon, thinking a little bit more about Popeyes and Undercover Boss than I ever have.
You can follow Tim Dillon at Tim J. Dillon on Twitter. I think this is like a safe bet. I think this one to say Tim Dillon is a breakout comedy star, that's a safe bet.
No, if this was Shark Tank, I'd be buying into Tim Dillon. I would. You know, I like money, so I'd be after him very, very hard.
Would you be willing to go half with me? Get 2 sharks.
Ooh, that brings a lot. Then we're going to need 55% of Tim Dillon. Great comedians here on Breakout. This is people that we think are going to be breaking out into that kind of next level of comedy.
Yeah, they're already there. They have the drive. They have the talent. This is the moment just before they break. This is Nico White.
That's very nice. That's very nice. Like you mentioned, my name is Nico White. I'm from Harlem, Spanish Harlem. Yeah. Yeah. So all that means that I was raised around nothing but Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. Now, Dominicans, you're my favorites. but we need to talk. Cause I don't get along with Dominicans who don't like to admit how black they are. That pisses me off. Yeah. Especially light-skinned Dominicans. Cause if you call them black, they act like you're hitting them. You're black. Oh, Papi, no. You're black. Papi, stop. Papi, please, Papi. I know black. I know black. However, if you ever see a group of Dominican kids after school, they use the N-word like they own slaves right now. But as soon as you tell them, hey, you know y'all black too. What? Papi, I know black. I Spanish. That's a language, asshole, and you can't be a language. And I don't know if you've ever seen a Dominican grandparent. They're the blackest people alive. The blackest. If you've never seen one, allow me to describe them to you. I'm gonna paint the picture. Just follow along. Close your eyes. I'm gonna paint the picture. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. That's what they look like.
Finally, somebody taking a run at the Dominicans. It's our own Nico White.
Nico White, you can follow him on Twitter at Nico_White92. He's been on New Faces at Just for Laughs. He's appeared on Gotham Comedy Live. He's incredibly funny.
At Nico_White, which means, at 92, which means there's 91 other people who went after that name first.
There's so many Nico Whites out there, but this is the one who's going to break.
Breaking out, this is a list of some of the young comedians, and some of them are even more established, but breaking into that next realm, whether it's breaking into headlining, breaking into doing theaters, breaking into doing TV. Who do we have next?
Next up, we have the very funny Jared Freed.
I like when girls get together. I like when there's a big group of drunk girls. I love it. Girls take care of each other. Whenever a group of drunk girls go out, there's always like one girl that's in charge. Like that mama bear. You know the mama bear? That's the girl when her friends get too drunk, she stops them all from hooking up with me. That's her job. I was out on St. Patrick's Day. There's a group of 10 drunk girls outside of a bar. This one girl's standing 10 feet away. She's pissed. She looks at the whole group and she goes, "We're going home!" We, as a group. How powerful is this mama bear? To get 10 drunk girls? Have you ever tried to get one drunk girl to go somewhere? It's like having a horse in heels. That's like out of control. Like, easy there, big fella. Like, pizza. Then she got really mad. There was one of the girls was talking to a dude. And this made this mama bear very upset. She looks at the one girl, she goes, "Jess!" And you knew she was mad because she made the name longer. She's like, "Jessica!" I think she would have made it even longer if she could have, just to show the group how mad she was. Just like, "Jessica!" And then she looks at Jessica and she goes, "I'm putting you to bed!" Okay. No, every guy is afraid of the mama bear because there's no such thing as a papa bear. I've never been out with my friends and had one guy get drunk and talk to a girl and been like, "Josh!" "Joshua! I'm tucking you in! We're going home and watching Bravo!" Every guy's goal is for his buddies to hook up with the girls he shouldn't. I was at the bar the other night, my buddy's talking to some girl, he goes, "Should I do this?" I was like, every guy's like a bad third base coach, you're just sending everybody home. It's like, you should do that! Mustache, Greek chicks are crazy. 3 boobs, better than 2, you gotta do that. Law of numbers.
Jared Freed, he also hosts the very funny J-Train podcast.
Yeah, we first met Jared through the New York's Funniest at Caroline. He's incredibly funny, so follow him on Twitter at JTrain56.
Again, 55 people wanted J-Train before he did.
Yeah, J-Train, I like somebody who their Twitter name is not so formal. Like, this is not like you're trying to get agents and managers with your Twitter.
Time to take the J-Train, everybody. The J-Train's pulling out.
Toot, you're on the J-Train.
The next comedian we have has been on Bennington and Gail Meets Girls, and she's one of your favorites.
Yeah, she's incredibly funny. She's just great to talk to, and very smart, great writer. That's Liz Mealy.
You guys on Tinder? If you don't know about Tinder, please let me have the pleasure of explaining Tinder. Because this is what Tinder is. It's an app on your phone, and all it is a face, a name, and an age. Okay? So face, Jason, 30. And from that information, you're either into Jason's face or you're not into his face. You're probably not. So there's a little X in the corner. You press the X. It says nope across his face, and then he flutters away. Just not gonna fuck that guy. Not gonna fuck that guy. Not gonna fuck that guy. It's just that. It's just that for 20 minutes. I was like, oh my god, this is so fun. I'm amazing at dating. Right? It is the Angry Birds of dating. It is an addiction that cannot be explained or justified. It's so fun. It's so fun that I actually don't understand how people get to the actual dating part of the tool. So let's say you do like Jason's face. If you do, there's a little heart in the corner. You press the heart. Let's say he likes your face. He presses the heart, and then it opens up into a chat room, and then you just start talking. We're all okay with this. All I know for sure is this dude has a nose and now we're talking. Sorry, that's not enough information for me. I have preliminary questions. Question number 1. Do you have a job? I don't have a job. If you also don't have a job, that's a lot of eye contact and getting to know each other too quickly. We're gonna fast forward through this relationship in like 3 days. You need to be busy. For us. For our future. Question number 2, I need to know if you're uber religious. I'm so unreligious. I don't want to go into any old buildings. I don't want to read any big books. If you've prayed for anything more than a parking spot in the last 6 years, I'm not into it. And question number 3, probably the most important question. I need to know if you live in New Jersey. I'm from New Jersey. I don't care how hot you are. I'm not going back.
Liz Mealy. Follow her on Twitter at Liz Mealy.
Yeah, we should probably spell that one out.
Yeah, M-I-E-L-E. It's not how you would think it is. M-I-E-L-E.
Yeah.
Liz Mealy.
It is Breakout on the Bennington Show hosting here tonight. And this is about comedians breaking out from one level to the next. And this is a gentleman that's already a big headliner, already has been on a cast member on a sitcom. He did Mulaney for a season and just crushed it. He's done Late Night with Seth Meyers and Inside Amy Schumer and the TV show Girls. But we feel like his own show is coming soon.
Yeah, this is one of the comics is a perfect example of, yeah, they're out there and they've definitely established themselves, but this is somebody who's going to break out, I think, to being a household name. This is Seton Smith.
I've started smoking weed, and I know some of you are going, started? Nigga, please. No, swear to God! I just started like 6 months ago. I'm on my 21st time. The reason... I'm counting, all right? I'm a responsible fuck up, all right? The reason I didn't smoke weed in my 20s because I was like, you know what? I want to be responsible. I want to be on TV. So I'm not going to smoke weed to be responsible and get on TV. But now, all my friends who started smoking weed before me are already on TV. So, I changed my perspective on weed smoking. Because I think I want to do it. I want to do it. Because you know what I want to do? You know what I really want to do? I want to stop drinking. I want to fucking stop that. And I wonder, can you transfer your addictions from like alcoholism to weed? Is that possible? Okay. I mean, maybe I hope it's possible because I don't want to stop drinking. Because I woke up one day and I was like, you know what? I don't have to poop blood every day. You know what I mean? I don't. That's my choice. I'm strong enough to stop pooping blood, alright? Thank you for getting that. Some people judge me like, oh my god, You poop blood? Yeah, I do. Yeah, all right? Sometimes you gotta poop blood in order to have a life lesson. That's how life works. Sometimes toilet paper's too rough. You gotta get baby wipes, all right? That's living life. That's how you live, all right? Niggas be all like, yo, you got a baby? Nah, nigga, I poop blood, right?
Seton Smith talking about bottoming out from his actual bottom.
Seton Smith. Follow him on Twitter at Seton Smith. He is incredibly funny, and I'm really excited because I know he has a project in the works, and I can't wait to hear more about it.
Yeah, it's something that he's going to write, star in. Sounds really, really cool. So many great comics here on Breaking Out. Another one that is making it all happen.
Yeah, Aparna Nancharla is one of those comics. She is just like on the tip of everyone's tongue. And I think she's one of those comics that other comedians recognize how big she's going to be. It's Aparna Nancharla.
This is a recent realization I made in my life. There is no way to pick up pills that you've spilled on the ground without looking like a total human red flag. You know, there's just no way to be like, oh, oh, this is what I meant to do, and everything is going great. You know, it's usually more along the lines of, oh, I'm so sorry. I need these. Oh, Mama's medicine. You know, immediately turns into a dark one-woman show that no one agreed to attend. I am on a healthy diet of pills. They are prescribed for the most part. One of the things I take them for is depression. It's always great to start off a set talking about depression because people are like, I guess you can have it all, you know? Yeah. I've had depression for pretty much my whole life, and I've learned to manage it for the most part, but a lot of times I'll still feel sad for no reason. But then I'll remember the reasons, you know? This actually makes a lot of sense. This adds up. Like, one of the things I've been struggling with lately is working from home. I don't know if anyone here works from home. Definitely don't clap. You've had a long, hard day. You gotta save those hands for tomorrow. I find it very hard to be productive when you work from home. Like, I feel like the closest thing I have to a boss is Netflix. When it's like, are you still watching? And I'm like, of course I'm still watching. I'm never not watching. Stop micromanaging me, you know? I'm your best employee. I take all your suggestions. In other news, I am recently still single. Thank you. Yeah, I broke up with my last boyfriend 2 years ago, and, you know, it looks like we're keeping it. Break up. That's our thing, you know, like being apart. That's like our thing. I've been trying to date. I have a couple issues with dating. One of them is like on dates. It's like you have to show up and be fun. It's like, what are you, a king? Like you should just be glad that I'm real. There's a lot of demands right out of the gate. And, you know, I've been trying online dating. Like, I'm finally on the internet, got my AOL CD, I'm on there, but I feel like I've tried a range of sites. You know, I spent some time on Match, put in my dues on OkCupid. I spent like a month on Yelp. Like, I feel like I've gone the distance.
Aparna Nancharla. You can follow her on Twitter at Aparnapkin. APARNAPKIN. She's incredibly funny. She was just named this last year one of Variety's comics to watch.
You've seen her on Amy Schumer, Inside Amy Schumer, that Judd Apatow series Love on Netflix. She's incredibly funny. All right, the next comedian is, again, and I hate to say this, but one of our favorite people in the world. It's Emma Willman, who you can hear on Sirius with her own show called The Check Spot.
She's so funny, and I really feel like very lucky to call her a friend because she's so talented. She had a fantastic set on Late Night with Stephen Colbert that I was so proud of her. She's absolutely a breakout star. It's Emma Willmann.
I'm in a relationship now, but I was single for a long time, you know, because of my schedule and my personality or whatever. It's hard. I just get so confused. Like, I'm always in a state of confusion because I'm dyslexic, which means I confuse, like, left and right and wrong, you know. I always try to blame things on my dyslexia constantly. I'm like, I didn't know I'm dyslexic. I'm an idiot. I didn't know. Oh, I got so confused with dyslexia. People are like, you're shoplifting. I'm like, yeah, do I pay in the store, out of the store? What do I do? One time being dyslexic was amazing. I got stopped at a sobriety checkpoint, just a random stop, and I got nervous. And then the cop goes, to prove you haven't been drinking, I want you to do the alphabet backwards. Ooh. Hey, I'm super dyslexic. I was like, no problem, buddy. That's how I was going to do it anyway. Thank you. Good. Close. My mom was so excited about tonight. She calls me up, leaves me this little voice message, but I notice every time she leaves me a voice message, every time, she identifies herself. Every message. Like, I would get a message from my own mother and be like, who is this? Who is this? Every message starts like, hey, it's your mother. It's your mother. Like anyone else is calling me up like, hey, just looking at pictures of you in the tub as a baby. You're a cute baby, very cute. Call me back immediately. You know who this is.
Emma Willmann doing an amazing impression of her mom. I mean, it sounds just like her.
I absolutely believe it. You can follow Emma on Twitter at Emma Willmann. Definitely go see her if she's coming to your town. She's so funny.
No one thinks like her. There's something just absolutely different. No, now I know why. It's dyslexia.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's her secret to her comedy gold.
It's Breakout with the Bennington Show. These are comedians that are looking to have a big 2017 breaking out this year.
This next comic had a very big appearance in Montreal for the Just for Laughs. He got his show picked up by Kevin Hart. It's like on his new streaming network. Really exciting stuff. You can feel he's just at the edge. That's Nimesh Patel.
I have enjoyed hating on people. I'm a hater. I spent all my days talking shit on Twitter. I spent most of my days talking shit to Donald on Twitter. You can talk shit to a presidential candidate, and he reads it. And you know someone's back in his office like, Donald, you cannot respond. I talked some shit to Donald the other morning, and some lady wrote back to me. She said, go back to Iraq. I'm from New Jersey, bitch. Why the fuck? And I read her profile. And it says, conservative Christian mom. That's easy. I wrote back, I'm going to pray to Allah. That your son is gay. I'm Nimesh.
Nimesh Patel, incredibly funny guy.
Nimesh, you can find him on Twitter at Finding Nimesh. So that's Finding Nimesh.
Now this next comedian is probably, I would say this, he has the most kissable face in comedy.
He does have such a kissable face.
Yeah.
And he has one of my favorite Instagrams. I feel like he was an Instagram star before I even know him as a comic, and that's Stavros Halkias.
Yeah, I go to his Instagram as well, and it's absolutely hilarious. He's also been Robert Kelly's opener and ride or die partner over this last year, and if Bobby Kelly is going to pick you as the next wave, I'm going to believe it.
This is Stavros Halkias.
How we doing, gang? Good? Great. Thank you so much for being here, guys. It's really important to me that you're here. This is the first thing I've done today. It's just nice to be out of the house, guys. Let me tell you a little bit about myself, guys. I got a new life's goal, you know? I'm trying to lose a little weight. Some of you are looking at me and you're thinking, yeah, that's a pretty good goal. Pretty solid goal for you, buddy. I get it, guys. My body type is snowman right now. I'm trying. I'm actually trying to lose weight. I'm doing okay, guys. I lost like 50 pounds so far. Right? Thank you. Thank you. The problem is, this is me after 50 pounds of weight loss. If somebody tells you I lost 50 pounds, the response should be, oh my God, you look amazing. The response I get when I tell people I've lost 50 pounds is, I'm trying to do it right though, guys. I'm trying to eat healthy, trying to eat organic, right? Boy, do you feel like a king when you're shopping for organic stuff. You're like, yeah, the best stuff in the world. I don't care. Cage-free eggs, yes. Grass-fed beef, thank you. Right? Then you get to the register. And you see how much it costs. You're like, all right, well, how much room does a chicken really need? Friends are in that cage. Grass-fed beef. Grass tastes like shit. Let's give that cattle what it really wants. Some delicious antibiotics.
Stavros Halkias. Follow him on Twitter at Stav Comedy, STAV Comedy. And you can also link to his Instagram there, which I highly recommend.
Very funny young man. How much weight did he say he lost?
50.
Huh. It is breaking out with the Bennington Show. These are some of the great young comedians that are breaking it out, taking it to the next level. This next comedian I'm not familiar with at all. She claims her name to be Amy Miller.
Amy Miller is one of our all-time favorites.
Love her.
She's out on the road all the time, so do not miss a chance to go see her. She has a great, great, great new album out called Solid Gold. Let's check her out. It's Amy Miller.
I know that when I got up here, like, a lot of you guys were like, oh my God, wow, like, you heard my name and you're like, what is her ethnic background, right? What a mystery, right? Does anybody have a guess? Do you guys have a guess about my ethnic makeup? German, I get that a lot. Yeah, like people say like German or Irish. If you thought anything like that, you're super close. White trash. Thank you. I'm just thirsty. You guys took that really well, and I really appreciate that because some audiences in Portland get upset when I say white trash because we're not allowed to say words here. I'm just gonna like if that's you and you happen to be in this room and you're like, oh, I'm not sure she's allowed to say that. I think it's offensive. I'm just gonna go out on a limb right now and I'm gonna guess that if that's you, that you don't currently have an uncle living in his trailer with a crow. Yeah. A fucking crow. He's not a wizard. We didn't send wizards to Vietnam, you know? We probably should have. Might have wrapped up a little bit sooner. My blood relative, my uncle, is just like living out his final days alone in a trailer with a crow. His name is Dink, by the way. I feel like I should mention that. I see, yeah, confused faces. Dink is the name of the man. Not the bird. We actually don't know the bird's name because Uncle Dink just calls it my old lady. So, yeah. We don't know what they're doing in that trailer either, but I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to say white trash if I feel like it.
Uncle Dink and the old lady. That's the one and only Amy Miller.
The incredibly funny Amy Miller. Follow her on Twitter at Amy Miller.
You know, there are so many comedians that are just buzzing right now.
Yeah, it's very exciting to look back and to see all these people, lucky enough that, you know, we get a chance to see them in New York City, because they all come through here. But if you have a chance to see any of these guys, you gotta catch them while they're out there.
There's another reason to go and follow people on Twitter, because you find out when they're in your town or when you're close. Here's a guy that everybody was talking about, because he was named the new face at the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival, the biggest comedy festival in the country of Canada.
This is Leonard Oots.
I've been trying to lose weight, man, because I like all type of women. You know what I mean? Like the only type of woman I don't like is an ugly woman. I'm just saying, I can't be fat and you ugly, and we walk around looking like a science project. People trying to catch us like Pokemon. I don't got time. I like all type of women. I like big girls. I do, you know. Big girls always smell like some dessert you ain't had in a long time. You ever hug one of them? You be like, is that red velvet cake? Two big people having sex is fun. It just don't make an attractive noise. It sounds like a whole bunch of wet handshakes. Like a locker room full of high fives, like, hey, good game, good game, good game. No, they went undefeated. That's what they. You gotta think about stuff, man. I was thinking, like, what if I get a big girl pregnant, right? And the baby grow up, start to walk and run, and we can't catch it. We'll literally be unfit parents, you know what I mean? Like, you know how embarrassing that'll be? Like, how I'm gonna fill out a missing person report? Like, sir, when'd you realize the baby was missing? I'm like, immediately. I was right there. I was right there when he ran off. I was right there.
Immediately. That's Leonard Oots. I was laughing too hard to actually speak. This is Leonard Oots. You can follow him on Facebook. That's where he posts all his dates. And
not a Twitter guy.
No, he's not a Twitter guy. He does not
Good,
tweet.
Leonard.
Yeah, be different. Do it your way, Leonard. Oots is O-U-T-Z-S. Follow him and definitely check him out if you get the chance.
I'm going to try to get the Twitter handle, Oots, there it is for him, and see if he doesn't love it.
You know, because sometimes if you do something like that for someone, you're like, you know what, I didn't even know I wanted this, but now I do.
The next comedian up had a book last year that was a New York Times best-selling book. So you think, last year was her year for breaking out, but we don't think this is the end of it. By the way, the book is called You Can't Touch My Hair and Things I Still Have to Explain, which is hilarious.
I'm actually just starting this book now, so I'm so excited to read it. She's so funny. I've seen her on Late Night with Seth Meyers, and you can catch her on Broad City, and she's a frequent guest at Midnight with Chris Hardwick.
Points.
This is Phoebe Robinson.
So I was watching like a bunch of movies, and I watched this movie, Kingsman with Colin Firth. And I didn't know anything about the movie. I just wanted to watch it because Colin Firth is hot, and I was like, sure, I'm into this. And it's a really good movie. Like, the action, it's funny, it's sick, but then the end gets weird for no reason at all. And so our young heroes are like running down this long like hallway like full of like prison cells, right? And he's running past one of them, and this chick from Sweden, she was like, help me, please help me. So he like runs back. And she's like, please help me. And he's like, okay, well, if I help you, are you going to kiss me? Which, kill yourself. Don't be that guy. That's disgusting. That's so gross. Just save a life, you animal. So I thought she was kind of badass in the movie, so I figured she was going to shut him down, right? And she did not. Okay. Instead, she goes, if you save me, I'll let you do anal. What? Are you serious? What? You guys, that has to be the weirdest way to let someone know you went to Catholic school. Number one, just she's going to share information. And number two, when she said that, all I could think was, I was like, how many times has she lost a negotiation? You know what I mean? Like, how many times does she not get to choose the restaurant that she's coming in hot with some butt sex? That is crazy. You've graduated from high school. You have other skills. You know what I mean? And so our hero's like, this is cool. And so he like runs away. Saves the day. He comes back with like a bottle of champagne. He goes up to her prison cell. He like knocks on it like it's her apartment door. He's a fucking idiot. Okay. And they go inside her prison cell and, they like walk over to like her dingy ass mattress. And then she just bends over and sticks her butt out. Like butt sex is gonna be the first thing they do? What? Are you kidding me? What? That is insane, you guys. Butt sex is not a amuse-bouche. Like, that is not how you start any meal. Ever. You work your way up to that. But it's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Just ignore that last scene.
The very funny Phoebe Robinson. Follow her on Twitter at DopeQueenPhoebes. Butt sex is not an amuse-bouche, I think is a lesson we can all live by.
You know, I saw The Kingsman and didn't react to it the same way. It just seemed like a normal movie, but I did go to Catholic school when I was younger.
That could be why. It didn't make you go, what?
She's so damn funny. It's breaking out. These are some of the comedians that we think are going to have a really big 2017. And again, one of our favorites, I think he looks like a TV star. Mr. Anthony DeVito.
Anthony DeVito hosts the Rad Dude Cast. He's appeared on Comedy Central's Adam Devine House Party. He's so funny, and we adore having him in anytime we get a chance to hang out with him.
I just wish I was producing a sitcom right now. He would be my lead, no matter what it was about.
I also saw him open for DePaulo and just crush the room. Like, everyone was just adoring him, like leaning forward in complete adoration.
And then they all ran out when DePaulo came out?
No, not at all.
Okay, good.
This is Anthony DeVito.
Hard to have confidence as a single man, just when you take into account every other guy who's single. Like George Clooney, he's single. That doesn't seem fair. That we're just allowed to hit on the exact same women. I mean, he lives in a multi-billion-dollar home in Italy with no roommates. And I live in Queens with a guy named Mad Dog. Bubba's. But there's no law. He could come down to Starbucks, take away my favorite barista. He could go to a bar, have anybody. Go to my house, take my mom away. Make a movie about it called Abducted by Love, and I'll go see him and be like, it's pretty good. He's a great actor. He's excellent in it. It's very good. It's fun. Yeah, I don't know. That's why, like, being single is more like sports, where you have clear, defined leagues. Like, you're 6'2", you make good money, you have health insurance. You really shouldn't be allowed to sit on the cashier at Target. Those are my people, and you stay off my land. That's what it is.
Anthony DeVito. Follow him on Twitter at Anthony DeVito _. I like how he's like, I'm not going to be Anthony DeVito too. I figured out a way.
Put the underscore at the end. Great job, Anthony DeVito.
He figured it out.
Very, very funny man.
I would almost say the adorable Anthony DeVito.
I didn't know we were going that far.
No, I'd like to.
Well, I'll tell you, as adorable as our next guest. I know for a fact that he owns a Dyson vacuum cleaner because he brags about it. And he also is one of the best physical comics on stage, that he could just do a couple little things with his body and the place goes crazy.
Next up we have Vlad Kamano.
My father's a construction worker. He's a handyman. I don't know if you guys ever had the pleasure of working with an ethnic construction worker. They have the most hilarious way of describing their work process to other people. Right, this is what my dad does. My father gives you a series of numbers followed by random noises, and no one knows what he's talking about. We got a Jewish landlord. He came down and checked on my dad. He's like, hey, Julio, tell me about your work. Tell me what you're doing. L'chaim. And this is my dad. Okay, mira, come over here. I come over here. 1, 2, 3. I put it inside over here. Choop, come over here. Chow. 4, 5, 7, 8. You put it inside. Pow, come over here. 1 + 1 is 3. You put it inside. Chow, come over here. And then you have a house. 7, 8. And the worst thing is that my father sends me to get supplies for him, you know. He calls me over, he's like, blah, blah, blah. Dad, what do you want? Mira, go to the Home Depot, tell him you want a 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3 what? And you know, you can't say no to an immigrant parent. Anytime you say no to an immigrant parent, they hit you with the debt, right? I said, Dad, I'm not gonna go. Mira, I gave you life! Like, alright. I'm a grown man, but I'm still paying that debt off. So now I gotta go to the Home Depot with this prescription. Right? I go to the Home Depot, I walk in, the guy comes to me, he's like, hey, what do you need? I'm like, I need your help. He's like, come over here, what do you need? I need a 2, 3, 4, 5, followed by a choop, come over here, whoa! And the guy looks at me and says, you know what? Let me go get Carlos, I'll be right back, give me a second. My father loves the Home Depot, man. Immigrants love the Home Depot. It's like a strip club. Every aisle just touched him, so he's like, mira, 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 mira. Mira, drywall, mira, drywall, mira. My father's favorite item at the Home Depot is the black garbage bag. That's how you know you grow poor, when you use a black garbage bag for everything but trash. When I was growing up, that was a raincoat, that was a curtain. I remember Halloween, I said, Dad, I want a costume. He looked at me, he's like, Mira, you are the Dark Knight. And he put a black bag on me. I'm Batman? Ever trick or treat with a trash bag on? Where do I put the candy? Put it in the bag, put it in the bag. One time they broke my father's car window. They shattered it. Guess what he put on it? Black bag. Bragging about it too. Black car. Mira, it looks like a tinted window. Mira, it's tinted. Mira.
The very funny Vlad Kamano. Follow him on Twitter at Laughing Vlad.
Really, really funny kid.
That was fantastic.
Well, this next gentleman, you already know his name. His name is Greg Stone.
His name is Greg Stone.
That's right. And everybody loves Greg Stone. I would not feel so all alone, 'cause everybody loves Greg Stone. I've already said that this guy's the next Jeff Garlin. I honestly believe his first big shot, he's going to play someone's friend.
I hope that you get all the credit in the world because you have been pushing this kid since the day you met him. You absolutely love Greg Stone.
I think he's going to play someone's best friend the same way that Jeff Garland did that in Curb Your Enthusiasm. I think he'll probably play the best friend of Anthony DeVito. And then he'll get his own show next where Greg will play a dad who is probably in his boxer shorts all the time.
I'd like to pull this clip. I think this is going to be a word-for-word prediction.
Etch it in stone, folks. I believe in him.
Greg Stone.
I'm in a great mood, man. I just lost 25 pounds. I'm very excited about that. That's too much. That's too much. I gotta lose more, man. I have a goal. I just want to lose enough weight so that for Halloween, I can just be Spider-Man. Like, I just want to be Spider-Man. But if I get dressed up and walk outside the house, people will be like, hey, there's Fat Spider-Man. Who are you going? Suck it in. Suck it in, Spider-Man. Who are you going to fight? Diabetes? No, I'm not. I love Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man and Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles were my favorite growing up. You guys had them? Man. The thing I never got about Ninja Turtles, why did they wear masks? When did that ever help them? Hey, who saved your life? Was it that white guy, that black guy, or that giant mutant Ninja Turtle? Yeah, I don't know, man. He was wearing a mask. Couldn't tell which one it was because he had a shoelace tied around his eyes. This mystery goes unsolved.
Greg Stone. Follow him on Twitter at Greg Stone. He's incredibly funny. We adore him, and he has great taste in sandwiches.
Oh, he knows the sandwiches.
He knows what
he knows where to get the good Astoria sandwiches is. Sandwiches. It's a plural, and it's not easy to do.
It's not.
Breaking out. Can you believe we're at the final comedian of the show?
I can't, and this was so much fun. I had difficulty coming back from each one because I was laughing.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, there's not one of these people that we wouldn't say that we don't believe in. We'll have links to this up on the iBang if you want to go over and check out how to find out who some of these comedians are or how to reach them on Twitter because they'd love to see you. So go to the interrobang.com. That's the iBang.com.
Our last comedian has appeared on Last Comic Standing. We're a huge fan of this guy. This is Monroe Martin.
Now, when the check comes, ladies, if you invited the guy, that's kind of your duty. You pay that. That is, you're laughing because you're like, no, it's not. Like, why would you go let me take you out and then I pay for myself? You could have just texted me the name of the restaurant and I went and ate by myself. Now I gotta pay for two people? I could have did this shit myself. Now, I don't mind paying. I don't care. I don't really mind it. But what I do want is you to at least make a gesture. Like, act like you're gonna fucking pay. She didn't do that. She, alright, so, cause you look like you don't know what the fuck gesture to make. Like, look in your purse. You don't matter what. You can just be like flicking a penny back and forth. We don't know. We can only see this part. So just make eye contact. You're just buying time until the guy goes, you know what? I got this. She didn't do that. She just slacked down in her chair and then put her phone straight to her fucking face. So I pay. But then I guess my high confidence goes, you know what? Fuck that. Make her pay that tip. So I do. I pay and then I go, you gotta pay the tip, yo. Just like that. With a little bit more bass in my voice. I go, you gotta pay that shit. She goes, what do you mean I have to pay the tip? You have to add additional money to the money I laid down to show gratitude for the person who served you. Well, I've never had to pay the tip on a date before. That was her actual voice. I am not making this shit up. I'm into weird chicks, okay? She pulled out her last $7. I knew it was her last by the condition of the money. And it was a $5 bill and a $2 bill. That's birthday card money. That's money your grandmother puts in the card. You need to save your $2 bills. They'll be worth more someday.
And how funny is that, man?
Incredibly funny. Follow Monroe Martin on Twitter at Monroe Martin III, which is Monroe Martin I, like the Roman numeral.
All right, that's it for Breaking Out. We put out, what was it, 16 comedians?
This was 18.
18 comedians. 17 and 18. We try to watch, 2017. 18 comics. If you want to go back over this, go to theinterrobang.com because there's some great names for you to follow.
There's an incredibly funny list there for you guys, and all their links to their Twitters: Mateo Lane, Lisa Traeger, Tim Dillon, Emma Willman, Amy Miller, Monroe Martin. They're all there. What a fantastic time this was. Incredibly funny.
Really, really fun time. Something we're going to have to do again. And I don't think there's anything more fun than catching an artist at a certain point of their career and then following them from that point on. If you can be there before they break, you got bragging rights. So it's Breaking Out, and we are Ron and Gail Bennington, and we'll see you again next time.